Look at
All right.
that.
Now, you guys that are in the chat room, you will have to raise your hand and we will unmute your mic and you can ask a question.
See, that's why we have Howie here, Jay. He's got it all figured out.
Cool.
I have 1 pointer, yeah.
Somebody's talking, and I don't know who.
Yeah, I'm going to turn off the mics.
Okay.
Except for you guys.
See
The
how
answer to the first question is John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Yeah, I remember those guys. Weren't they supposed to be Eddie and the Cruisers or something like that?
Yeah, they're from Providence. Beautiful Rhode Island.
Totally under control. I can see what he's doing already.
Okay, Scott, I left your mic on because you're up in the panel.
Somebody just asked how you raise your hand.
Okay, down. I can't see it from here because I'm a co-host now, but down there's a menu at the very bottom. There's a bar there that says raise hand, and there's a picture of a hand.
Don't you have to run your cursor over to highlight it?
Okay, Scott Carroll has his hand up right now.
And then I can lower it. See, I can lower it or I can raise it.
Oh, there it is.
Right. There you go. It's right I can't see it because I'm co-host, but those viewers that are there, you'll be able to see the hand down there.
Welcome to the old guys running the show tonight. You have no idea what the hell they're doing.
I thought I was going to be on YouTube. This is a ripoff.
I know, right? Crap. It's the Hangout. So, Scott, how you doing this week?
All right, man. I got those covers, man.
Which covers?
That go on the Electric Voice.
The EV? Yeah?
Yeah. They are tight.
Yeah, they are tight. I got them, too. They're very tight.
I called them about it.
Uh-huh.
They actually saw the YouTube video.
Yeah.
And you've got to get them exactly right for them to line up. I did a video on it. I may put something in the cave on it. You know, I might do that.
Sure. Did you get any feedback from EV on that?
Well, you know how they're going to pass it on. You know how that goes.
Right.
Okay.
Well, let me have a word. Let me have a word with a guy over there. I know a guy.
Talk to Mike.
Yeah, Mike D. Let me talk to Mike D. And
Mike will make it happen.
Mike can.
It's who you know. Sometimes,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, Scott, I got them too, and they are freaking tight. So.
Yeah, I went ahead and ordered some from Connie.
Yeah.
How those are.
How are her prices?
They were $10 more.
Oh.
They were about $110 with the shipping.
Okay.
That's all she does.
Right on.
Yeah. They were what? I got them through Sweetwater. They were at $98.
Sure.
But yeah, just to kind of fulfill and start things off. But yeah, that's how that's going. And you know, booking some new parties, got some new stuff going on. So yeah. Does anybody have a photo booth?
I have a photo booth.
Do you? What kind do you have?
I went through Jim over at Colorado Sound and Light. He does really nice photo booths for not a lot of dough.
I bought one of those. I guess it's Mojo, the one that's out of Illinois. You know what I'm talking about? I went there.
I just have the one I have. I'm not real familiar with it. I got it from Jim. Actually, I got it from my daughter because she likes to do photo booth. She doesn't like to DJ, so I thought it would be nice for her to have something to do. And I do it too, though, now. We've had it now for at least 6 years. And we've made a lot of money on it. It's time to probably get a new one.
They're having more fun at that booth than they are. I'm like, wait a minute, guys. They're over there. I'm like, I had to carry the party over to the photo booth. I actually had to walk over there and say, hey, what are y'all doing? You know, they're hooping and hollering and getting crazy. My wife's she runs that.
Right. Well, let me tell you what I like about doing a photo booth gig. Because sometimes during the wedding season, things get very stressful. You're worried about every song, you know. It's like all hangs in the next song. If people dance, if they don't dance, whatever. On a photo booth, who cares? They just either get their picture taken or they don't. If they're not there in a line to get the picture taken, it's not my fault. The service is available. It's not like they can say, "Oh, you did a bad job because, you know, you didn't, you know, have more people in the photo booth," because you have no control over it. But it's chill. I love it. It's fun.
You're getting talk back for some reason. You hearing yourself when you talk?
Somebody's got a mic on and their volume's up too loud.
I'm not hearing anything.
I heard it.
I'm not hearing anything either. But let me say one thing here. Hey guys, if I mute your mic, don't turn it back on. We can't have too many mics open. You'll have to raise your hand and I'll unmute you if you want to say something, okay? Alrighty.
Jay.
Okay, go ahead.
Jay, yeah.
So we have Howie here.
Jay's Mac. Yeah. Howie's, you know.
He's an asshole.
But he knows it. That's the thing. Howie knows he's an asshole. It's important to be self-aware.
It is.
Who you are.
You got to know who you are.
He's the one who probably takes charges at gigs and says, hey, this is how it is. You don't like it? You know.
Right. Yeah. Hit the road, man.
But I do it with a smile.
You ever seen DJ Request? It's that movie that takes place actually in Temecula where they sell cars.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
That'd be Howie. It's like, hey, man, you got to play this new disco song. He puts on, like, death metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't let them get to you. Do your job.
I think I was the one who told you about that movie.
Yeah, you definitely were.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because, I mean, Temecula, we have, like, no point of reference to it. We're like, what is this? Oh, that's where Jay lives. It's the swinger capital of Southern California.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, but when I do kids' parties, I go, huh? I can't hear you. What song? What? And
Right.
I played it, you know. Just, I mean, they run something in the ground. I mean, it just.
Well, because it switches every 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
Howie, do you want to let him in, or should I do it?
You can do it.
Putting out music.
Okay.
Yeah, any of the hosts can do it.
Yeah, I
Sure.
know, but I know when you let him in, sometimes the mic isn't muted automatically, is it?
No, John has it set that their mics come on as soon as they join. So if
I'm going to
you
step back. It looks like
Yeah.
Ron's got his hand up. I'm going to step back and
alrighty.
Ron get in there.
All right.
Okay, Ron, you're unmuted. Unmute Ron.
You want me to?
I just did, but it still says it's off. Ron.
There he is. There's Ron.
There you go.
I just wanted to show you something. You were talking about photo booths.
Uh-huh.
I don't do it, but this is a friend of mine. I don't know. Can you see that?
Yeah.
They do it, and then what they do is they make a magnet out of it so that the picture goes. Hang on a sec, real quick. Sorry. So that's the picture.
Uh-huh.
They just print it off, and then they put it on the magnet, and then this goes on the fridge, and we got tons of them. And they do it at every single Filipino. They're Filipino, and they do it at every Filipino party, and there's all the photos.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow.
And they
That's a cool
put
idea.
little things like that, and it's really inexpensive to do, but they make a lot of cash on it.
That's a really good idea.
So I just thought I'd share that with you.
No, that's a good one. I like it. It's gotta be a,
Refrigerator magnets, for the most part, I don't know about where you are, Brian, but I know in Southern California they are illegal.
The what?
They're illegal.
don't mind him.
He's just
Ron?
being Jay.
Ron, he's an asshole. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know how they print all this, their names on it and that, but this is a little girl and her name's Irina, but they do this right at the photo booth.
I'd be very interested to know what kind of printer they're using for that.
I can ask them for you.
Yeah, find out. Put it in the cave.
Okay.
I'd be interested just to know what the model is and be able to go to a website or something just to have a look at it, because that is an interesting idea. I think people would like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's fairly inexpensive. I don't know what they charge, but I'll find out for you, Brian. But anyways, I'll let you guys get back there. It was my first time, but thanks for bringing me in.
Thanks, Ron.
Alrighty.
And,
Good
and
to see
feel
you,
free to
Ron.
hang out and listen. Who knows what kind of shenanigans we'll get into. Especially since we've got, all these troublemakers in here. Jeez. We got,
Thanks, Ron.
we got DJs from Minnesota. We've got Keith Clark. We've got Chris F. Jeez, Eminem's still here. And nobody's put
Robin's here.
well, of course Robin's here. Of course she's here.
Robin's everywhere that it's cool. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow.
We don't need you anyway.
Bring us
So,
one.
Go ahead, Scott.
I was just telling him to bring us one.
Oh yeah. He's had a long day. He's been doing inventory all week, so he's.
We're closing Florida. Florida's closing. We're closed. All cities are closing up here. North Florida's going to get in the teens tonight, about 4:00 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, you poor people.
No flurries. Oh, they shut Florida down when that happens. Trust me.
Well, right now I'm waiting for it to update here. Okay, this is where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
And that's warmer than it was earlier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught my video that I did from my gig log for New Year's, but it was -6.
Oh.
And someone stole my coat.
unbelievable.
No, I'm not even kidding you. I couldn't make this up. Someone stole my coat.
How'd you get all that money thrown at you? I ain't even going there with that.
I'm just
He was pole dancing.
it's slots, man. I just hit them. I hit slots. And if I'm smart, I take the money and walk away. If I'm stupid, I keep going, I can make more money, and I make it all go away. But I always hit on slots. Always hit on slots.
You have been very lucky with the slots.
Yeah, I have.
About everywhere. You were down at Expo too.
Now, Jay, I was speaking with Howie today, and I think maybe we might be able to talk him into coming and joining us in Vegas.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
But I'm probably speaking out of turn on that, but I'm just saying.
No, you're not. I checked it out already. Yeah, I can do it for about 500. So
I told you it was a piece of piss.
Yeah, it's not bad.
but and then there's all the hidden fees.
It's still not bad.
$33 for a resort fee.
Yep. Welcome to
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yep.
It's still not
Welcome
bad
to
at all.
Vegas.
Yeah.
They're picking my pocket before I even get there.
Yep.
Never been
It'll
out.
be fun though. It'll be fun.
You gotta
Yeah,
go.
Vegas.
You gotta go. Well, Ron has his hand up again.
Ooh,
Hello?
Okay, Ron, we got you.
go ahead, Ron.
Brian, I just want to let everybody know that it's -35 with a wind factor of about another 10 to 15 up here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. So we're looking at about a -46.
Oh,
Below zero.
wait a minute. Are we talking Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay. You win.
Niagara
Your dog
Falls
is bigger than my dog.
Niagara Falls is frozen.
Yeah. It's frozen up here.
I saw a picture of Savannah, Georgia. They were showing that beautiful fountain in the middle of Savannah. It's frozen. Like the streams coming down are frozen on that fountain.
Yeah, she's pretty cold up here. Froze on New Year's too. It was freezing out.
And Jay's telling me it was 85 on
I
Saturday.
couldn't find my sunscreen.
Yeah. Where are you?
Southern California, right after.
Well, yeah, you guys got a lot of fires down there. Did you get a lot of DJ shows canceled, or hate to
You know what I
sorry to
did?
hear that.
Luckily, I didn't. But I know a few guys that did, and it's one of those. It happens.
Yeah.
We
We had the same thing in Alberta. I had a few shows when I was on tour in Alberta doing weddings and stuff up in the mountains there. We had a few canceled too as well.
It's the downside, and Brian knows this. In Southern California, it doesn't rain enough, so things get dry, then they burn. Then it rains a lot, and things grow, and then that stuff dies. Or it rains like in December, January, February, and you get mudslides because there's no more growth because it all burned off. So,
God.
But the people are nice, and it's a happy place.
and weed's legal now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Unbelievable.
I decided for 2018, I gave up drinking, drugs, gambling. It was the longest 15 minutes of my life.
I bet.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I've heard.
That timed out quick, didn't it?
But it's funny though, like the weed thing, because I'm waiting to see how this pans out. I mean, it's not for me personally, but tax it, get revenue, whatever. But it's going to be interesting to see what companies do. Like what if a major company gets asked to sponsor something? Like, are they going to
invest into Canada? You'd make $2 million, and now the shares are going for $200 a pop.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's insane. There's billionaires are being made overnight again. It's like the tech boom all over.
Right.
Howie,
You know,
I'm very curious about Eminem. I want to meet this person.
Who's
Who are
Eminem?
they? Let's unmute them and make them talk to us.
Alrighty.
Unmuted.
Who is this?
That's Eminem. We just turned your mic on. How we turned you on, if you can believe that.
Eminem, do you have a camera? I'll turn your camera on. Nope, I can't do that.
Eminem is just a voyeur.
Well, I'm going to unmute Robin. Robin.
Yeah.
There you
There
are.
she is. Hey, Robin, how you doing, hon?
All right. What's
going on?
Are you staying warm?
I'm just drooling of that beer. I mean, I could really use a beer right now.
We've already switched to vodka.
Well, I'm not a hard liquor person, so that beer looked good though.
Jay doesn't. I don't think Jay drinks much unless it's around DJs, and then he drinks.
Or it's a weekday.
Oh, Edwin's
Weekend.
back. Come back, Edwin.
One thing I don't do.
Oh, Jay.
What's up,
by the way,
Edwin?
The new headphones are working out really well.
Nice.
Those were the ones I told you about that broke. I dropped them like 2 times and they broke. And then Pioneer actually sent me a brand new pair. Didn't charge me anything for repair or anything.
Good.
Brand new out of the back.
So wait,
Awesome.
Nice.
Those the X series?
These are the what are they? 2000 MK2.
Oh, MK2s?
Yeah, they're bloody expensive, but hey, all right.
Yeah, but you know what? The driver, and this only makes sense when you think about it. The drivers on them are really big. It's like 68 millimeters, so you don't have to turn them up as loud
Yeah, I noticed that.
in order to hear. So you're actually protecting your ears.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but I can't afford to lose my hearing. I'd rather spend $1,000 on headphones than $1,000 on lights. Because I told Brian I did a wedding, the biggest wedding I've ever done for a fee. I did Friday night, well over $2,000, and I never turned a light on. Not one dance light. They danced for 4 hours. The mother sent me an amazing compliment. They've contacted me 3 times to thank me afterwards, and I didn't turn a dance light on, and it wouldn't have fit. But if I didn't have good headphones, the mixing would have sucked, and then, you know. So I think, you know, the investment needs to go into our hearing and our longevity.
Keith, what phones are those?
They're the DJ Pioneer DJ M 2000 M
MK2.
2K. Yeah,
The brand new ones or the ones that were?
No,
these are the newer ones, I believe.
they're the
I
newest
don't know unless they
2000
came up with the
HP 2000s or whatever?
HDJs.
HTJ, those are the ones I have, and I love them. They're
Yeah.
really nice.
Well, I had the 1500s as well, and yeah, I went to these ones, and I'm quite happy.
Ron's
they're
showing
good-
us
they're good
headphones. He's got phones. Yep,
But I was just telling Jay before I bought these, and within like 3 times of wearing them, I dropped them once, and it just broke the part here where it shouldn't have broken for that. But Pioneer fixed them right away, and
sure.
actually just sent me a brand new one pair, so it's awesome.
they're pretty hardy. I mean, I've seen them twist those things around. It must have just been the perfect storm of dropping them in.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
It's always weird because like Christian Pulse, who some people may know, I know Brian knows him, and I get all this stuff early and use it for years and years, and nothing happens to it, and then users get it, and a day later they're like, "Oh, it all fell apart." And it's like you never get it. I never understand it.
It's called Murphy's Law.
It's got to be.
called.
But you know, I think the trend is just like with DJs. It's going to be about the small little things that are going to go forward with the reputations. You know, it's those little moments that you create. Getting him headphones, he's going to tell 5 more DJs.
Well, you better.
Well, it's funny because when I got them, I broke them right away, and I was like, okay, well, I just put them aside because it's like, well, I just spent X amount of dollars on DJ equipment, this whatever. I can't afford to just go out and replace these or repair them right away. So I let them go for like 4 months, and then I talked to the store that I bought it from, and they're like, well, you should bring them in and let us at least look at them, see if we care. So I'm like, really? Because they're probably out of date and out of warranty anyway. And I dropped them, so it's all my own stupidity. So and then they're like, no, just bring them in. So
surprised how cool people are when it comes to
and then
that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you the
like,
one
okay,
thing.
well, it's in to get picked up. So I went and picked them up, and they were brand new and packaged. So I was like, well, this is more than I expected. So awesome.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I deal with it a lot. It really comes down, I know people love the expression squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah.
It might get the grease, but it doesn't get the goods.
Yeah.
It's the nice, polite, not demanding customers that get the most. Yeah, you'll get something if you're screaming a lot going on social media, but you could get a lot more by being nice.
So I was willing to pay for the repairs. I was just surprised when I found out that it just came back to brand new. I was like, all right.
And so I'm glad you had a good experience.
Oh,
Well, what happened to Ed? I was just about to say hi to Ed, and he disappeared. Damn it!
Where'd he go?
I was just getting ready to open my mouth and say, Ed, what's up, dude? And it was like,
Well,
He might have jumped rooms.
oh, that's true. It's not just about us. There, I'm just letting Ed back in now. Ed, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Welcome back. What's going on, dude?
I'm trying to figure this out here real quick.
You'll get it.
Yeah, I'll get it sometime tonight.
oh,
What's going on, man? Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy. There you are. Happy New Year.
Here we are.
Welcome. How has your 2018 been so far? We are a whole almost 2 days in.
Yeah, so far so good. I got some gigs from my New Year's Eve party, so that went pretty well. I already
Oh,
got,
good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Just no confirmed bookings yet, but a lot of tire kickers.
Where did you gig?
Wow.
I'm from Connecticut, so I gigged at this restaurant called Land Cheese. It's a Vietnamese restaurant.
Oh, right on.
And I did a gala for her and her husband like 3 or 4 months ago. So they booked me for New Year's Eve, and they're booking me for their 5-year anniversary, the restaurant. So
Right on.
I got that, and then I got a Sweet 16 from one of the customers that was there.
Uh-huh.
And then I got another tire kicker that went up on the website and was asking for prices. So
Well, excellent.
pretty good. 48 hours or 2 days into the New Year's.
Sure.
Before leads, so it's going
Yeah,
well.
I got one. I got one just earlier, but and of all things, it's from another DJ. He's not here because he probably can't figure out how to do it. Although he's an engineer, he can't figure out how to do it. But my pal over here, Art Abera, his kids go to private school, and Art is like Mr. Quinceañera, or I'm sorry, Senor Quinceañera around here. So they're always, he's doing like every big quinceañera. They love him. He's like the man for it. There are other DJs, but he's really solid. He has one quinceañera in February, and it happens to land on the date of his kid's school event that he promised that he'd do for him.
Yeah.
So when he does that, I step in. So I'm doing one for Art's kid's school event.
Yeah. The quinceañeras are huge. You can make a pretty nice coin with those. Those are like as big as weddings.
It's
a lot
the
of people.
it's the new bar mitzvah.
Yeah. I did one last year. They spent upwards of $20,000
wow.
for a 15-year-old.
No,
Unless
as you may
Southern
know,
California.
I'm kind of Puerto Rican too, because Blanca.
I noticed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm as white as it's gonna get, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But anyway, so like her family and her nieces and things. A lot of times, I've seen them where they're in the church basement. It's like whatever, and they've got the Mexican DJ in the corner with the circus lights.
Yeah.
And grandma's ears are bleeding because the music is so loud. But then it's like I started seeing it where, okay, we've rented a hall at the nice hotel. We have the white limousine carriage. We have all of the formalities down really nice. And it's like a wedding. Absolutely. Yeah. About 10 years ago, I started seeing it happen here. And our friend, a mutual friend, actually, it's his cousin, but they're all related. It's just how it is around here. Blanca's related to everybody else too. But anyway, one of my friend who does all my body work, Juan, his daughter, she had a quinceañera last year, and I wasn't able to go because I was at DJ Expo. But she did the photo booth, and Art did the DJ thing. And he had it at the Harley Davidson Museum.
Whoa.
Yeah. And they all showed up. The whole, like, what do you call the party for the quinceañera?
They call them the caballeros and the damas or something like that. I'm not really sure.
They all showed up in 1950s custom lowriders.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had them all lined up out there. I mean, and there were like, I think it was like a 2,500 person event.
Yeah.
It was huge. And my daughter said she felt really bad for Juan's daughter because she didn't act like she knew anybody there, because it was like a bar mitzvah. They're just inviting their business associates and everybody, you know?
It's a rite of passage. It's a huge event.
Yes.
And there's a lot of money. And usually if you pull it off, you can score one or two more gigs off of that. And a lot of them, they like the up lights and you know. So if you bring your A game to those things, you can really score off of that. So.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I've been doing them with Juan or with Art rather. We'll do the photo booth and he'll do the DJ thing, and it's pretty fun. And I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
For instance, No Rampas Más. That's my jam right now.
One of the things I do recommend if anybody wants to get into those is, go along with a Latino DJ, and because there's a lot of formalities, there's a lot of, the passing of the shoes, and it's like the bar mitzvahs. I would never go into one of those without, shadowing another DJ for at least 5 or 6 gigs to get to know what the processes are.
That's so smart. I mean, and it's kind of worked out that way with Art and I, because Art really doesn't do a lot of just Caucasian, or just not Caucasian, but just American English-speaking events. So whenever he has an event where it's mixed, he'll call me and we'll do it together, or vice versa. I'll call him, especially if it's Mexican, because, I can handle the Puerto Rican, no problem. We've got that. But with the Mexican stuff, it is new, relatively new to me.
Yeah,
it's a very, very different style. So,
but it's where they're from too. Like where I am for weddings, I do a lot of Latin weddings because in SoCal it's all about cumbia, and salsa, and then ranchero and banda. I've never gotten a quinceañera. I've never been asked. Because my market, I'm like the only guy that doesn't speak Spanish. Like everybody here has got a Mexican DJ friend who comes up and just crushes. So I've never even looked into them.
Yeah. We were talking about this last, what was it, Howie, like 2 weeks ago? I think we were talking about it with DJ Barr, who he gets a lot of those events where it's English-Spanish, and he's getting them through an agency.
Yeah, but bilingual.
Right, but for us, like, this guy doing the Macarena up there.
I'll tell you something about that. It's funny. 1992, I started down in South Florida by accident. Can you hear me?
I can now. I can
hear him.
Okay. I got him.
Hey, Ed, do you take deposits when you book these things?
For the quinceañeras?
Yeah.
It depends. Like if it's
the only reason I ask is if you get a deposit, then you might be able to turn your lights on.
You're funny.
I told you he was an
asshole. We can't see your face.
It's dark. You can't see me. Hold on. I'll go get some lights.
There we go.
No, you're fine.
You don't want to see. You don't want to see me anyway. I'll scare you.
He's just breaking your balls. No, what I was going to say is we were talking about
for your own safety.
Like at the just regular English weddings, of course I do fine with those. With the Spanish weddings, there's always somebody in the community, like you say, Jay. There's always they got to, Tio does it or Primo does it.
Chewy
does it. But when it's mixed, that's when you can really bank. If you can do both,
Yeah.
that's where the money is. One or the
So-
other isn't that valuable, I don't believe. But
Well-
the ability to do both is incredibly valuable.
Check this out. Another big one that's kind of the undercover is Chaldean. You get the Chaldean weddings, which is Iranian. So
Oh.
I get a hit for one.
Wow.
He's from Iran. She's from like LA.
Okay.
And their concern is the music. And I tell them, I don't know the music, but if you give me some songs, I can show you what I'll do.
Uh-huh.
They gave me 4 songs. I put them in Serato, got the BPM, and then just made like 60-second mixes and recorded it. Went to the meeting, turned on the laptop, played back the recordings, and he's like, can you send those to me to give to my mother? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, my mom will be so thrilled to know that you can play Usher Yeah with Huckama, 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 or whatever. Scribble, scribble, dot, dot. But, you know.
That went on the top 10 last year, right?
We were
Yeah,
waiting
exactly.
for that moment, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the funny thing is I picked up 2 more weddings and I did the same thing, which I've never tried. I'm like, hey, do me a favor, send me 3 or 4 songs so at the meeting I can show you my approach. Because at that point, I'm not going to sell them on I'm bilingual, I know the culture, I know the traditions. I'm selling them solely on being a DJ and getting both groups to come together and dance.
Right.
Because I think a lot of, and you can tell new DJs. I did an event 3 weeks ago, and I didn't DJ. It was a party that I attended. But when dancing started, let's say the group was like 50% Latin.
Mm-hmm.
And in SoCal, that means they were Mexican. So, but you'll see what I mean. The DJ his opening song was Suavemente. But then he went from Suavemente down to Celia Cruz, Carnival. So like 118, 115, down to 104. And he just kept going back and forth with these weird, like he played 8 straight songs that were in Spanish. And I just looked at my wife and kids and I'm like, this isn't being a good DJ. Like you don't hammer one crowd to death. We ended up leaving along with a lot of other people because there's a point where you go, oh, this is his only trick. This is all this guy can do. Versus when I do a Latin wedding, I'm doing Celia Cruz into Staying Alive. Or I'm doing Suavemente into Uptown Funk.
Mike's,
So,
yeah.
I'm getting people to continue to dance to the same beat.
Right.
But, I put a video up, like a 20-second video on Facebook. I had the great-grandmother, 2 grandmothers and a mother in a little circle dancing to 50 Cent. Well, what you didn't see was the song before was like In the Mood or something that made sense. So they mixed well.
Yeah, 50 Cent in the club and In the Mood by Glenn Miller.
I'm not going to wait till 10:30 for an 11 o'clock wedding and say, oh, you know what? I think it's time that I do this or it's time I do that.
My experience with Latin clubs and this is not wedding, but it's the same thing at Latin for the tropical Latin, which is like Puerto Rican, Dominican, even Cuban, Colombian, and in Florida.
Check it out, Brian. My hot wife has shown up.
Hey, what's up, girl?
Hi, how are you?
We're in a room.
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Looking good.
Yeah.
Look how long your hair is. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Looking good.
He's like a hippie.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe one of these days I'll come down and see you guys again.
Yeah. When NAM time.
All right, well, I'll come. Just
that'd be
work it
great.
out. I'll be there.
Christian's coming down the weekend before.
Oh, well, I won't come then.
No, can you imagine all of us? That'd be awesome.
No, but I want to spare Mish the headache of that.
Bye. See you later.
Bye, hon.
Yeah, no, at some point. But I think it's one of those DJ moments where you get, and it's not a put down, so if somebody gets upset, don't take it that way. But the younger, less experienced DJs tend to run with things. Like if 2 people dance to Lil Pump, they're going to run with it. Now next is Bodak Yellow, and they're going to stay there. Versus you look at the crowd and you bring them to you. because you need to give them an incentive. You can't, just because there's a floor and a speaker and a mixer doesn't equal, woo, great party dance. And that's the trickiness of what older DJs do. And that's why
I found that with the tropical Latin events that I was talking about, and Ed may be able to back me up on this, I don't know, but what I always had really good success with, when it's just the Latino music that I'm playing, are sets of 3. So like I can come in and I can do 3
hit it right
salsa,
on the nail.
I can do 3 bachata, I can do 3 merengue. And the reason I do it that way is because once you come out to do it, there are salsa dancers.
Right.
The salsa dancers aren't always bachata dancers or merengue dancers. So there are people out there waiting for a bachata.
Yeah.
But they will not come out from merengue or a salsa. So if I rotate it like that, it gives everybody ample time on the dance floor. And at clubs, it's great bar rotation too.
Oh,
so,
you have to.
But that's very unique to the tropical Latin stuff. And I would imagine it'd be the same with like Tex-Mex or the Mexican events, or I guess Central, not Central. Yeah.
Well, like I said, down here, I'll do a set. I did a party 2 weeks ago. I probably did a 20-minute set of cumbias, and I'm mixing on the beats, and they wouldn't stop dancing. And they'll come up and start requesting in Spanish, and I'm like, yeah, I don't speak Spanish. And they're, oh, I thought you're Mexican. You're playing all these great cumbias. It's like, no, I went to a DJ and I got 2 CDs with the same songs burned on them. I play 1 into 2, 2 into 3, that routine.
Cheater.
But here's the funny thing. I don't know the Latin music market well enough. So I'm still playing Celia Cruz, Elvis Crespo, Mark Anthony, Pitbull, Daddy Yankee, and having great success with it. Because I think sometimes
playing the right stuff.
Well, that's it. You can play the stuff that's been around forever because people hear it and go, "Oh my God, I love this."
Yeah.
It'd be like if, to me, Celia Cruz, Elvis Crespo, Carnival, and Suavemente are kind of like playing Journey, Don't Stop Believing, and AC/DC, Shook Me All Night Long.
Very much.
Oh, we all love this.
Scott has his hand up. What's up, Scott?
Tex-Mex. I have done a Tex-Mex wedding. Now that's unusual.
Yeah.
It's very country, isn't it?
Country pulled together.
Yes.
That was That's the coolest one I ever did.
We have a question here for Jay in the chat room.
Yes.
Oh, what's up, Jay?
Okay, the question is from Eminem. Apparently, he can't get in on the mic, so here you go. It says, "How do you guys deal with people coming up requesting songs all night that don't go with what you're playing? Do you just not play them, or do you just drop the songs?"
I always have the same answer. You know what? When I'm playing at that tempo, I'll do my best to get that song on. So if I'm playing at 120 beats a minute and they want to hear 100, I'll just explain by even using my hand saying, well, I'm up here now and that song's this speed. When I go back down there, and I'll in front of them sometimes type it in, and in Serato and in Rekordbox, you can actually put it in prepared so they can see it. I had a guy the other night who wouldn't let go of R. Kelly Ignition remix. And just like every 10 minutes, and then he tries the ultimate. Hey man, the groom really wants to hear it. I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't have it.
Yeah.
He goes, you said you had it earlier. I said, I have it for you if you'll wait, but I don't have it for the groom if he has to have it right now.
I had a guy come up to me on Saturday 10 minutes before my closing set. So I was going to be done. The band was going to play, but I wanted to close hard, and I had it all lined up. Hey, man, can you play that music video for that Britney Spears sleepover thing? Like, man, I don't know. I'll see what I can do. I'll try to get it. I listened to it. I'm like, no, what I have lined up is better than this. I'm closing with this. So 30 seconds later, 2 girls come up. Can you play that Britney Spears sleepover song? I'm like, your friend just asked for it.
Yeah.
I was born at night, but not last night. Stop it.
But you know what? That's exactly
classic.
Who you
That's
tell.
a classic tactic.
Yeah, but that's exactly who. When you get the third or fourth person,
yeah,
that's the one you actually say to. You know what? I'm so sorry. I looked for it. Somebody asked for it earlier. It's a great song. I don't have it.
Yeah.
And my rule of thumb is, and I tell every client this: the microphone is mine. to be used professionally at your event to benefit you and only you. No one's announcing they're engaged. No one's announcing they're having a party someplace later. It only benefits you. And also, I won't give you surprises. What do you mean? If somebody comes up and says, I have to sing karaoke for the bride and groom, it's a surprise, I will not allow it. And this is why. It's happened twice in 22 years. One was an ex-girlfriend who sang, and the other one was like some random who wanted to give a toast and turned out to be like a recovering alcoholic. So I'm like, no, here's the deal.
Yeah.
It's never a surprise.
Yeah, you can't pass the mic like that.
No. If the crowd is hiring you, if you're in a nightclub and somebody wants you to give them a shout out for their birthday, you have to. If you're at a wedding, you're only working for 2 people.
Yeah.
You have to make everyone else happy and make them have a good time. But they didn't rent your mic, your speakers, or your skills.
Let me tell you a problem I ran into on Saturday as well, and it's not unique to Saturday. It's happened before. People will ask for a song. Do you have such and such? And I'll say, I don't know. I'll search for it. And then they want to stand there. Oh, well, I'll wait while you type it in, kind of thing. I don't know how to handle that. I don't know how to say, would you please fuck off? I'll look for it later.
I've had them try to get right behind me. I'm like, excuse me, you don't need to be back here. I mean, you got to be nice to them, please.
Put on your headphones like you're mixing. That's what I do.
Yeah, they don't care. Oh my God.
Sometimes you got to tell them no, or you don't have any Wi-Fi. Something to just brush them off.
Twice.
I have a cable plugged in, RCA to Mini, at every event, plugged into channel 2 in case I need to use my phone. Every event, somebody comes up, hey man, can you play this on their phone? And I'm like, yeah, I don't have that cable. Oh, I think we might have it in the car. I'm like, it doesn't work with this mixer. It has to be a high impedance. They walk away.
That'll work right there.
Yeah, you just give them a technical issue. You know what they are? They're drunk children.
Yeah.
They're drunk children. If you give a child an open-ended answer, they run with it. Can I go to the park? Maybe later. When later? Versus, can I go to the park? No. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Well, let me tell you something, though. I had a guy one time who was requesting weird songs like White Lines and, just off the chart. Yeah, just kind of crazy songs. But every time he came up, he gave me a $20 bill.
Play them. Play them all night.
Yeah, I played every time he came up. This guy literally, he made 3 requests. I made $60. It was pretty hard to say no to that. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, if you're at a club, if you're at an event where it's public, run with that.
Yeah.
But again, it's still, you look at a bride and groom. The wedding I did Friday, the biggest I've ever done, came from a wedding I did 5 years ago, which came from a wedding I did 10 years ago. If I had messed the first wedding up, there's 7 weddings I wouldn't have picked up. That money's worth more than just making that one random cool guy.
Yeah, of course.
In a wedding context.
Yeah. That I wouldn't do. Yeah. Yeah, that's where I would use my discretion. That definitely not at a wedding, but this was at a bar.
This is why, and I want to get this topic started. I don't want to take over, but I'm gonna a little bit.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah. Well, no, and it's the same thing you and I did.
Just before you even do that, just hold on just 1 second. I just want to let everybody know there have been times where I've gotten a phone call, and it's Jay. I answer the phone, and I say, hello, and that's the last thing I say for 45 minutes. So just watch this guy. He's dangerous.
Well, no, because Brian and I, who I now have known, in June, it'll be 10 years.
Yeah.
And we have probably been on the phone a good 30 years worth. And just the random, hey, check this out. What do you think of this song? I was going to do this. What do you got that like?
A lot of ideas bouncing back and forth, yeah.
And we bounce back and forth. And the beauty of it, and what I love about Brian and respect so much, is Brian will not cave. Brian will not say, yeah, you should do that. Brian will say, that's a really bad song, or that's a bad idea. You think? Yeah, this is why. And you get a perspective. But the one undeniable thread that has bound us forever is our passion and love for music. And we had a good friend who passed away, God, 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years
Mark?
ago.
Year and a half.
Yeah, Mark. And he and I spoke on the phone twice. And I think both times it was a little over 3 hours. And it was, oh, that Earth, Wind, and Fire September. Oh, then you must have heard this. Oh, but did you hear that? And like literally 3 hours. And this is what I think DJs don't talk enough about. They all want to talk about the Evolve 50. Hey, I heard the new Pioneer headphones. Hey, what about that Denon player? Hey, Pioneer's got this thing. I want to know what people play after a song. For example, if you're at a wedding, an event, wherever, pretend to just regular crowd, and you play Billie Jean. What do you follow up with?
Sometimes Thriller.
I could name 30 songs. That's the beauty of what we do.
You
I
can,
followed it with
absolutely.
Cake by the Ocean. I followed it with a very slowed down version of I Got a Feeling. I've done Thriller.
I've done Staying Alive. Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's so many ways to go, but we never talk about that. And I'm always so intrigued to watch other DJs' videos to see what they're mixing in and out of. Like I'll give you my mix that I've got to cancel this. So I'm handing it over to you, the world. For about the last year and a half, I have lived and died by this opening mix for the dance floor. In the Mood by Glenn Miller. First a slow song, usually Unchained Melody. Then In the Mood, and then these three songs in order, about 2.5 minutes each. Happy by Pharrell, Full Tilt Remix. Taylor Swift, Shake It Off, Full Tilt Remix. Into Outkast, Hey Ya. It's killed 100% of the time. Literally killed.
I go even nuttier than that. I'll do Happy and I'll follow it up with like Shout or Twist and Shout.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. It's an opener. What I want to do, and I've always done this when I want to. What are you laughing about, Howie? Howie, what are you laughing about?
You know the other good
This is
one?
going to be bad.
Brian.
Nothing.
Filter?
Come on.
I know too much.
I'm just sitting here knowing.
Brian, go Happy into Van Morrison.
Brown Eyed Girl?
Yes.
You can. Yeah, I'm bouncing
That's
around.
what I used to do with Outkast. And then, you want the better Outkast, you really want to blow their mind? From Outkast, Hey Ya, you go into Hey Mickey by Tony Basil.
Whoa.
That's
Real?
different.
I like
Okay.
that.
Trust me, because it's the same, that dun, 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 dun.
I used to try to play as many genres as
Footloose.
possible in the first 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like a country, a hip hop, a classic rock, a big band, a 50s. Just cram them in there. So I was doing the YMCA, I was doing disco, I was doing, all this stuff just to show everybody that I got a variety. That was my trick I did in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way nobody leaves. They're like, oh, he's going to play my stuff.
Oh, he's got stuff that I might like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's it. You get that diversity, and I think,
Yeah.
it's always been old, new, old, new, old, new, old, new.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that old, new is only 10 years. But that's why when you do something like, you can say, well, Happy's only 5 years old, and then Taylor Swift is 2. Yeah, but Outkast is probably 12 years old now. If you go to Tony Basil, now you're going back to the 80s, then you're open. It's just like when I do a slow to a fast. You want a good slow fast? Howie Day Collide gets people in the dance, like after the cake cutting. You do Howie Day Collide, and then about 3/4 of the way through, about a minute left, you start mixing the beginning of 50 Cent in the club. Because they're the same BPM, and they're the same kind of hook, and you let that run, and you slowly bring it in, so by the time Howie Day's running out, and you start in with 50 Cent, nobody ever leaves.
There you go.
Boom.
There it is. Drop the mic.
I'm not dropping the drink.
Don't drop
Yeah. Don't drop that.
You know what we do down south? Tennessee whiskey. That's the biggest.
Yeah. Do you do a
What do you
lot
follow
of
that with?
fishing in the dark too?
I do a lot of country themed weddings. I mean, that's in the South. That's what you do. You do
Yeah.
There's people are into bluegrass.
Right.
A lot of the classic country. They hate this new stuff. They'll tell you.
Really?
Well, they love the old Merle Haggard and stuff like that. Give them the old stuff. Oh yeah.
Are they dancing to it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'm curious because I get country out here, but it's all brand new.
Yeah,
It's
me
Brian and this and this, and it all
It's
sounds like
Southern country. Or, no, it's called pop country. That's what we call it.
I did a wedding a few years ago. Brian, you would have flipped out. This was Cocktail. I'll give you 4 songs I played during Cocktail. Played, I don't remember which one, Merle Haggard track. Played Wichita Lineman by Glenn Campbell. Played Hank Williams III, All My Heroes, which if you've never heard it, it's an amazing song. And it's more kind of, if you don't know Hank Williams III, one of his big hits is Put the Dick Back in Dixie. So he's a little more on the punk side of country, but he's heritage. He's Hank Williams Sr.'s grandson, you know.
He sounds like his dad.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. He totally sounds like his dad. But it's great. But out here, man, you get near Johnny Cash outside a Ring of Fire, people throw stuff. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, what am I doing? Playing real music.
They love it.
Luke Bryan.
Down here, they love it. Oof.
Now, what do you do for dance music, though? Faster old country or?
Yeah.
Wow.
Faster.
Now, the new pop country that you're talking about, I mean, I've always viewed that as the place where soft rock went to die.
Yeah. That's a good
Howie and I were talking about that recently.
where rock and roll goes to die. And you know what? That is big here for some reason in Jersey. Pop country.
Really?
Yeah, same here.
Jason Aldean. That's the big. Jason Aldean is one of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alabama. I mean, those are your pop. That's your, you can't say Shania Twain anymore, even though she's tried to come back. It's not the same. She's
Carrie Underwood and all that.
I do Any Man of Mine a lot. I still do that
Yeah.
one quite a bit.
That's always a big one. Yeah.
Hey,
Feel like a woman.
Ron's got his hand up.
Ron's got his hand up.
Ron's going to scream at us because his mic is really hot. So just so you know, Ron, when you turn that mic on, don't scream at us because it's really fucking loud. All right.
Okay, I have to disagree with that last comment on Shania Twain. Sorry.
Oh, that's right. She's Canadian.
I was gonna say, this is gonna get ugly.
But no, seriously, if there's any song in 43 years of me DJing,
Whoa.
I will put on Shania Twain, and I even put Shania Twain on in a rap bar. And I was the first DJ ever to play Shania country in a rap bar, and every single person got up on the dance floor. And if I'm having a problem at anywhere, even in Texas, I put Shania Twain on, and they danced
The older
every
stuff,
single time.
Which
the older
one?
stuff is fantastic now.
Well, she did
Which
really
one?
Yeah,
Oh,
which
I feel
song?
like a woman.
Feel
That's
like
what I thought you were going to say that. That goes over big in Jersey.
the big crossovers that I did, like I would do, and I still do it a lot actually. Still the One is a slow song. And then I'll come out of that. Like I'll start the slow song. Like if I'm doing a rock set, I'll do Clapton Wonderful Tonight. Then I'll do Still You're Still the One for a nice ballad. And I'll come out of that to Any Man of Mine. And you know who really enjoys that song? And it's kind of like Ron said, it's the young girls who would normally be asking for hip hop enjoy that song. They know it like from childhood.
And Brian, actually, it was actually the ladies that came into the rap bar. There's 20 of them, and it was actually a stagette for a wedding. That's why I played it.
Oh sure, no,
Nice.
But yeah, for Scott's like got the hardcore country people, and they're looking at perhaps Shania Twain, like us people who are playing mainstream music are looking at maybe Bieber. I don't know. Somebody who's been overplayed. And
Yeah, since he came back. But when I was down in Texas, though,
Bieber's Canadian, Brian. You know that, right?
yeah, but we don't like him anymore.
but they don't want him.
We don't want him.
Well, hopefully someday Canada will wake up and get some new, like, April Wine and Triumph and
They went over to China to play.
Are they? Is that where they're playing?
Well, same with Kiss and all them. They're washed up over here, so they go over. When you get washed up here in Canada, I don't know about the States, but you go over to China and Hong Kong and they make $1 million.
Japan.
Now, are Bob and Doug
Japan.
McKenzie over there?
Or
Take off,
Japan.
eh? You hose head.
What's that?
Well,
Bob and Doug
Bob
McKenzie.
Bob lives in Malibu now.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not sure where Doug is. I don't know where Rick Moranis is living in America or not, but I know that. Oh Jesus, what's his name? Anyway, the guy. Yeah, I can't think of his name. Anyway,
I'm sorry, but if you didn't watch SCTV at its peak, you missed some amazing comedy.
But yeah, that was Second
Yeah.
City was Chicago, but then they had the little satellite office.
Oh, the Canadian one though. Oh my God.
That was a miss.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let this really strange thing in with all these crazy curses. I'm gonna see what happens. Will the room explode if I let this person in?
Oh, what is? Okay. Oh.
Go for it.
An equation. There, we'll see what happens. What's up, equation? We can hear you.
I don't think he's talking.
Hey, he said something there for a minute.
Huh.
Yeah, he's here to listen.
Maybe that's
why
the
I won't.
NSA.
Yeah.
Could
Probably.
be the NSA.
The FCC or something.
Yeah.
No, there was a comment I was going to make, and I can't remember because I've got brain damage.
Well, looks like we're breaking the Zoom again here. We're doing good tonight, guys.
How
Good.
many we got now?
$1 million.
Right now, we got about 60.
Oh, wow.
Good.
That's pretty good.
Isn't that good?
That's very respectable.
I
What
hope
does that mean?
that means there's 60 people watching live.
Well, 60, yeah. At least they're either participants or chat.
Let's let iPhone in.
Hey, John. Yeah, it's Jay. You get like 60 people, so like that $300, that's going to have to go up. Okay.
It's negotiation right there. There he goes.
Oh, I didn't mute that?
Change the contract.
So I had an idea, and
Who's
I
going
just
to
have
Vegas?
these kind of random ideas sometimes. They're just thinking out loud kind of ideas. But if Howie's coming to Vegas, and I'm going to go to Vegas, and Jay is going to be in Vegas, and Christian's going to be in Vegas, and other people
Monday's my birthday in Vegas.
again. Oh, geez.
Again. Thanks, Ryan. My
Maybe we
liver
should have
thanks you.
Maybe we should have a cave meet in Vegas this
Yeah.
year.
Hey, we'll get Peter to bring the jitney out. That was a fun ride. Oh, my God.
That was a blast.
Jay, your stories were so freaking funny. Oh,
That was
my
fun.
God.
I had a great time.
Just
It was.
oh my
You got to
God.
go to these shows, kids. Expo, Mobile Beat.
Well, Mobile Beat, I think right now
Yeah.
is the show that I'm encouraging people to go.
Just don't go to the bathroom with Brian, though. Don't go in there with him.
Well, you can go to the bathroom. Wait, me?
Yeah, you get everybody laughing.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, Brian.
That won't be a problem.
Brian.
What? They laugh at me in the bathroom. What does that say about my manhood? Yeah.
You want to do a cave
Oh.
meetup?
No, it's what you said in the bathroom.
Wow.
Oh, sweet
Things
Jesus.
are turning quickly.
Oh, no, it was innocent. Not really. I can't tell that story.
Hey, Brian, you know what? We should try to do like a club spin thing.
Well, we could, but I think it would be more fun in the spirit of the cave to do more of a social.
What if we could do a social off property and maybe I could get some gear together to spin?
Ooh.
What, Hooters?
Maybe.
Wow.
I think what you ought to do is jump in the cave and have a conversation with some other people who might want to jump into, and maybe we can all collectively put it
Because I
together.
know they're doing the takeover on Monday.
That's just painful.
Oh, by
You know, it's not what. Well, you should know. You started it. No, and I mean that as it's sad. It's gone the way it's gone.
What are you going to do?
You know, and I feel. You know who I feel bad for on that? Bill, Luca, those guys. And it's done exactly what I said it would do and what it shouldn't do, which is it became corporate.
Yeah.
Like we were involved. Pioneer gave gear to that thing for 5 years. We never called it the Pioneer Takeover. We never ran in and said, "Oh, hey, everyone, look at us." Now it's all names and the same people coming from different parts of the country, and
I thought Mobile Beat had something to do with that. Maybe
they do now. Yeah, they've taken it in, so it's a PV Mobile Beat event.
Yeah, they
That
did that
wasn't
at
the point.
Expo too.
Let me explain very quickly. The point was, you're a DJ from East, fill in the blank, Canada, America, wherever, who is doing weddings and parties in your neighborhood. What are the chances you'll ever spin on the Las Vegas Strip? Zero. So Brian comes along and says, hey, if we put gear out there, we can have DJs that go to a trade show, learn, and then can go back to their market and go, oh, yeah, sorry I couldn't meet with you last Wednesday. I was in Las Vegas spinning on the Strip. What? Yeah, I'm the only DJ in South Dakota, Missouri, Kansas, Florida, whatever, who was spinning on the Las Vegas Strip, who's sitting in front of you talking about your wedding.
Well, the point of it was that I thought it would be really cool.
Really? You're going to throw me under the bus that quickly?
No. You're on it. That was the byproduct of it. But the point of it was supposed to be
free drinks.
Let's just go into a room where there's people. Let's go into a room where there's just a crowd, and let's play to that crowd, and let's learn from each other. Let's see.
I know, but the Vegas Strip part was pretty big.
Huh?
The Vegas Strip aspect to me was always like, what are the chances of DJ?
I mean, I thought it would be a cool learning experience, and when I went on the stage for it,
it was till Wednesday night.
Yeah, well, we won't talk about that, but I mean, I had old ladies playing slot machines, and I was like, "Hey, let me play your lucky song," and they'd request songs, and I'd play it, and they'd keep playing slots, and they'd hit, and they'd tip, and it was fun. When everybody else went up, it was a look at me show.
Right.
Like, this isn't what it's supposed to be. So I washed my hands of it. I'm like, this was an experiment that failed. And then the next year, somebody's like, dude, are you going to do it again? I'm like, no. I'm disabled. I had a stroke, and I was busy. I'm like,
don't hang on that. Come on.
Well, no, I just had it. I wasn't going to do another thing like that. I was, I'm like, no, I'm just going to be mellow and chill. Well, can I do it? I'm like, do whatever you want. I don't care.
It was good in the cave. I mean, in my opinion, when they did it over in the bar, that like cave bar, at Queen Mary or whatever it was, Queen Victoria.
Yeah, Queen Victoria's pub. I mean,
but it was good in respects to it was DJs playing. Then it became hey, we got a stage at the Tropicana. No, not a stage. DJs walk up. If we do it the way I want to share, no introduction. You walk up, 2 turntables and a mixer. You want to spin from your laptop? Bring your laptop.
Yeah.
Or 2 CDJs and a mixer, and I'll tell you ahead of time, only play CDs. You have 20 minutes, play some music that fits, meaning if you normally play country, guess what? No country.
Because this isn't a country crowd.
No, but this is my point. Like if you normally play hip-hop, guess what? Maybe this is the night you become the trance DJ, or you play techno, or you're in Vegas. It's a club thing. Just get that out of your system. I mean, if you have to play country, but I looked at it as an opportunity to play what I'm not playing at weddings, what I'm not playing at, high school events.
Well,
be that guy. Yeah. Be Calvin freaking Harris.
The problem that happened with that, as it does everything else, like Marl's Tamale Party, is when people try to start sponsoring it and putting their names on it, it gets too big.
Never went on it.
Marl's Tamale Party was beautiful. Marl,
was awesome.
If you guys know him, he is in the video cave, if you remember that. Morrow makes like 200 tamales.
Yeah.
He just wants to feed you. Come to my room. I got some tamales. He brings a microwave from home. He brings food. He brings a little speaker system and has a party in his hotel room.
And when Steve spun
wants to come.
Yeah.
Well, that was fine that time. But I mean, the first couple ones were just in a double queen hotel room.
Yeah.
Just invite a friend to share a meal, and everybody kind of talks, gets to know each other. Eventually, Berger gets involved, and Ryan's not a bad guy, but it's screwed it up. He did this big room, and all these people were in there that we didn't know, and poor Morrow's back there handing out food that he made to people who aren't even speaking to him, and it just was like this big stupid thing. It wasn't any fun anymore.
Yeah, but you know what, Brian? It's kind of like when you like a band that plays locally, and they play around, and you see them every other night, and you love the band, and all of a sudden they sign a contract and they get famous, and you're like, I don't like them anymore. And it's the sad reality of things change.
The spirit of
the spirit of it shouldn't change.
Right, the spirit changed. That was the problem.
That's the problem. It could have still been Morrow's Tamale Party. The problem became it went to a room, and they had DJs that nobody knew.
Right.
Spinning. I'm like, so is this his party, or is it just a place for some guy to spin that we've never heard of?
I hate to use the term, but the suits were in there like full.
Oh yeah,
like that became their party, and Morrow.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on the suits at Mobile.
But it just was like.
Don't get me started.
It just sucked. So Morrow just didn't want to do it anymore. But then we've had little parties that we didn't tell anybody about the last couple of years.
Remember the cash? Yeah. I do.
I did that again on.
I saw that. I saw the photo.
Yeah, not.
It's like you have Carol and Tom. Well, it's like the video. I still laughed the one of you, me, and Marshall's room, and that girl came in, and if it wasn't on video, people wouldn't believe it. A 7-foot, 300-pound operatic singing woman dressed steampunk, standing next to Larry. Was it Larry's wife or Benton's wife? Who's like 5 foot? Remember, it was like the most bizarre. It was like right out of a Fellini movie.
There are so many weird things that happen in Vegas. I can't keep track.
It was like there's a tiny little girl and an Amazon with like a dog collar, and I think I saw someone reading a book. It's like, well, yeah.
Howie, welcome to Vegas. I wonder if Marshall's going to come again.
I talked to him yesterday. I believe he will be in Vegas. I said, I'll see you in Vegas. He's like, yes.
Marshall always has a suite, and he always has a party.
Marshall is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. One of the nicest people. I can't tell you the great friendships I've made at these shows that have nothing to do with the fact that I'm really a big deal, which you know.
You are a big deal. You're a super big deal.
Y'all are something.
I was waiting for that.
Wow.
It's something that I said a long time ago.
Yeah.
At a show, and Jay just won't let it go.
Don't they do just vinyl when they go to those shows too? They do nothing but vinyl. They put away the computers and do nothing but vinyl. Don't they do where they just run nothing but vinyl anymore, or not?
No, not really.
God,
it's hard. You know what? And it's hard because of product, and it's hard because, let's face it, the thing that we're all using to watch this, it's taken over. I got into laptops DJing in 2011. I'll be honest with you. I pissed and moaned the whole time. No. I got 3 CDJs, a mixer. I'm good. I know how to do my job. I wish I'd gotten a computer to DJ with 20 years ago.
I started when DJ first started here in Florida. He's down in Clearwater, and they first started. And I think it was early 2000, 2005. I still took CDs out. I still had my Denon, which I finally had to get rid of.
I'm sorry, what?
Training wheels. Don't say the D word. Jay's in here.
I'm going to mute him, Brian. I heard the F word. I heard the D word.
Ooh. Well, I could have said it wrong. I could have said it.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care about them.
Okay. Ooh, that must have been, I still have my Technique 1200s. They're 35, almost. I bought them in 80.
Tanks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Japanese made too.
And I got the ones with the European plugs on them, where you plug the, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still have them. And, of course, the needles I've changed, but I still got I've got 15 Peaches crates. And I've got everything from the Disco Net stuff and I've got hot track stuff. Hot
Nice.
track was jobs back in the day. Remember the medleys they would put together, beat
Yeah.
mix, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm
You know, I
sure.
wish I had a few records. One of these days, I'm going to get into records.
You should
Well,
get into that. I heard it's pretty hot. Yeah.
Remember Rapper's Delight? I have that one.
I played Rapper's Delight last night, or yesterday morning, I guess I should say.
Wow.
Yeah.
They got a 15-minute version on one side and 6 on the other. Ron's raising his hand out there too, by the way.
Yeah, Ron's going to scream at us again.
You know, let me go back to Jay's comment there. I had the same aha moment Jay had when I broke down one night and I was actually on the road in a half an hour. And I said, why didn't I do this 20 years ago? Yeah.
A DJ friend of mine got caught one time. We first went to MP3s, and a hard drive went up on him. And he didn't take nothing with him, no CDs or nothing. He's screaming, calling me, hey, man. I said, you didn't take any CDs with you at all? And I still was running both. I ran both for a long time. Both.
Call that training wheels. Yeah.
Yeah. I trained one off of the other. And I said,
I see you, Ron. Don't yell at us, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to unmute you in a second.
So.
Okay, here goes Ron. Here goes Ron. Turn your speakers down.
Earplugs.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. I see a lot of records behind you, Brian.
I was a joke.
Oh. No, I still run turntables, vinyl. I run 212s. I have my CDJ 1000s, and I take 5 computers out with me as well, and CDs. Do you guys remember, I don't know, here in Canada, there was called Little Rock Studios?
Yes, I've heard of it.
And it was, I think it was also belonged to Gary Roberts Music Services. When we called the 300 CDs the Bible of DJ, because you couldn't get them anymore. And there's 300 CDs that they had that after we went from cassette to CDs. So I still take those out, but I still do vinyl, real vinyl, because I'm not digital. I don't do Serato. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I still mix on computer, but not with Serato. I made my own box. But I charge extra when I take my vinyls.
I still do vinyl.
Cool. Some people can do that. Some people have the vinyl.
I don't miss carrying records at all.
No.
I don't either.
Love it.
Right. If I could carry everything in one little suitcase, I would. But you know.
No, I love
you
sitting
can't.
right here where I'm at right now, and turntables in front of me, and just sitting stuff.
I threw a stopwatch down in front of some kid at a party one time. What's that for? That's how we used to get our beats per minute.
Yeah.
Stopwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still got my stopwatch.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
But then I'm old school too.
Hey, you got your stopwatch, right? They didn't know what it was for. Yeah, what's that for? It wasn't a digital stopwatch. It's a sweet 60-minute stopwatch.
Yeah.
And with records, you always had to buy 2 of each.
Yeah.
You know, if you
Well,
wanted to
not-
mix.
Q burns in them. The days.
Well, until they came out with the EPs, though. The 12-inch long mixes.
Yeah, the extended play.
Yeah, the extended plays, yeah.
I have a Casablanca that only has song on one side of it.
Oh, I got a couple of those.
Yeah.
I got several, actually.
Disco stuff was like that. A lot of Donna Summer stuff. Was,
The Village People stuff was like that. The Georgia Marauder stuff was like that. And yeah, the Village People on Casablanca was like that. They would do the one-sided vinyl. The other side was just run out groove.
hey, you remember the group Slingshot? Remember the song they did, "Do It Again"? And it was Billy. What it was Billie Jean with Steely Dan.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. I
Didn't
just
Kanye
heard that
do
on
that?
Studio 54 Radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I had something where I can quantize those songs, I would do it for reals. But I don't have that kind of ninja skill here.
How about Looking from a Hilltop? Remember Looking from a Hilltop? Oh, what is it? I'm trying to think what it was. The group that did it. Then there's Don Quixa, Magazine 60. Remember that? Those were on independent labels, though.
Yeah.
Those were the club days. Those are the days somebody I was down in South.
Oh, I got to interrupt for 1 sec, Ron. Hold on 1 sec. Brian, you know you have to have come on this?
Who's that?
Our boy.
I don't know. Who's our boy?
Like, probably the only guy we know that can say he broke Madonna at Studio 54.
Ooh.
Dennis Rodman?
Oh, Joey.
Joey Blue.
Joey.
Wow.
Yeah. Joey talking old school.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, Joey was a Studio 54 DJ.
Wow.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Joey Blue.
He's very quiet about it.
He also played the Funhouse. He's very modest. He's very quiet.
He played Cafeteria. Oh, yeah. He played Jelly Bean Benitez gave him the raw single for Madonna. What was it, Holiday? Or In
Wait
the
a minute.
Groove?
It was Burning Up. What happened was he went to school with John because he calls him John. Him and John went to school together. John was,
Jelly Bean.
yeah, Jelly Bean Benitez
Sidewalk talk.
was a year older than him, so he knew him. They weren't like close pals or anything. They knew each other, and they knew, they both knew each other as DJs. So Jelly Bean would visit Joey in the booth at 54, and he tells the story. And he doesn't tell it to everybody. He's real quiet about it, but he tells the story about
super humble.
John. He's like, yeah, John comes up with his girlfriend and says, yeah, we got a single we want you to play, and I think it was Burning Up.
Yeah, that was the first single.
And so he's like, I'm going to go to the bar and talk to whoever. So Joey's playing it, and Madonna's in the booth. Nobody knew who she was. And I guess one of the busboys came in the booth, and Madonna took him back behind the amp racks and started making out with him. And Joey didn't want to tell Jelly Bean that this was happening because it was his girlfriend. He didn't want to upset him. So he didn't tell him until after they broke up. He said, look, I was going to tell you, but I couldn't, I said, she was making out with a busboy up in the booth. It's like, yeah, she was a slut like that.
I thought Everybody was her first single. Remember Everybody?
It was either Everybody or Burning Up. No,
Burning Up was the first video.
Okay.
Whatever it
Maybe
was.
that's what we're thinking of.
She dropped whatever the first cut
I
was.
love that track, by the way. Burning Up.
Yeah.
Great song.
I remember when Into the Groove came out, and it was a flip side of Angel. I was playing around at the club, flipped this thing over, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try this tonight. I packed the dance floor with Into the Groove. And it was because it was on the flip side. But I got in the record pool back when we actually had pools, and we actually got our music, had to write everything down.
I don't think that's on the flip side of the commercial version of Angel. I think it's might have just been the record pool.
Yeah.
I got
I've got 2 copies of that. That must have been a rarity because
if you are watching us right now and you're under the age of 30, you have no idea
what the hell we're talking about.
Is. You don't know about the DJ in LA that was playing Queen this and flipped it to Bohemian Rhapsody. You don't know the DJ that was like, hey, what's this 3 times track? Let me turn it over. What's Freebird? Oh, it's long. I'll go to the bathroom. And like, that's how this stuff. I used to work in radio, WBCN in Boston. We were the first station in the United States to ever play U2 or the Police.
Wow.
And their first tour, their first American dates were both Boston, because the game was you could play Boston easier than New York. So it wasn't like, oh, we'll go to America and we'll play the Bottom Line or CBGBs. They had to come to Boston and play a club called the Paradise or the Rat. And it was like music got broken. Music doesn't break now because of the internet. You get some dude with tats all over his face who's 22 years old. He swears his head off, says Gucci 16 times, and he makes $1 million.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's not talent. I'm just saying it's not going to last. Because I still think Unchained Melody is one of the best love songs I play at any event. And that song's from what, 67?
66, 67.
Yeah.
Somewhere around in there.
I mean, I'm not, the last, even just 2000 to 2007.
It will pack a floor still. It will pack
a floor. Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra. Bieber is not going to pack a floor in 50 years. Nobody's going to go, oh, remember that time and your dad's like urban diesel with oil vehicle that we drove and made it. No. It's the legitimate stuff. I mean, I argue Shania Twain, you know, that from this moment, that took things over. I remember like you and everyone else playing Celine Dion, friggin' the Titanic, and trying to explain to every bride, you know, he dies, right?
There it is.
Like
There's the nail and into the groove on the other side of it.
Nope.
No?
All right, hey,
Brian, where are you?
Oh, wow.
That video, Brian, we did a project in the DJ Video Cave, and he made it on YouTube. And the #1 slow song from all the participants that were in there was Unchained Melody.
Yeah.
Song.
It won't give up.
Yeah.
It really won't. Because and remember when the new DJs would come in and be like, oh, I'm going to play that song from Ghost. I'm going to play that Ghost song. It's like Unchained Melody. Don't you know who the Righteous Brothers are? But that's the downside, because I can do an event successfully and not play any of what we've talked about and still have a packed dance floor. So what event do I get to do where I can reach? I went to Chicago the first time I met Brian. True story real quick. Went to do Mobile Beach, Chicago, June of 2008. And a friend of mine and Christian's from the Pioneer DJ forums, he was a member, said, hey, you're coming to Chicago, I'll drive you around. So he drove us around, went to Gramercy Records, walked in, and they were playing a track called Chicago by Roy Ayers. Loved it. Bought it when I got back to San Diego. You know who Roy Ayers is, Brian?
No.
It's this crazy, like kind of almost a down-tempo, housey funk track. Very kind of Eddie Taylor-ish. So that's the trip that I met Brian. But it was going in and hearing stuff and going, oh, my God, I'm buying this. I'm going to love this. I did a wedding for a couple from Chicago like a year later. I played it. You would think I played white noise. I'm like, why aren't you as excited about this as I am? And it's like, oh, wait, you're a lawyer. You're a doctor. I'm the DJ. I'm the guy that gets off on the music, not you. So how do I incorporate your life into an event and show it when I've got 26 million songs on iTunes that I can pick from? I played Sublime during dinner the other night. Then I played Jack Johnson because they wanted Jack Johnson. Then I played G. Levin's Special Sauce, Rodeo Clown, which is the first song Jack Johnson ever sang on. They came up, the bride and groom, oh my God, we love this so much. I can't believe you know this and you have this. It's like, that's what I do.
It's a crapshoot.
It is. But it's a crapshoot when you know it's got to come up. I mean, it's like betting it's going to come up 2 through 12. I'm betting on 2 to 12. You know you're going to hit something.
We've got this, the way we structure weddings in Wisconsin is you've got the dinner bit, you know, they do the grand entrance, then they eat, do a toast and all that crap. And then after dinner, as things are getting cleared, they start, you know, getting ready for the dance portion. They're clearing tables and all that, getting the dance floor cleared off so we can have a dance. So what I like to do at that point is start making the music a little more up-tempo because I'm playing, you know, whatever they want. I mean, upbeat cocktail stuff. But I want people to notice when there's a change. Oh, well, something's happening. The music's getting a little more aggressive.
Right.
But I don't want to particularly play anything anybody's going to dance to. So at most every wedding reception that I've done for the past several years, the track that I put on is JD's Plastic Dreams. If you don't know that song, that is one of the most famous club songs of all time. And it's 10 minutes long. And once in a while, somebody says, oh my God, this wedding DJ is playing JD's Plastic Dreams. It doesn't happen all the time. But when it happens, you sure look cool.
This is the thing, just like 10 seconds. The Mobile Beach show where I met you, this is what Gramercy Records was playing when I walked in. I don't know if you can really hear it. This that Roy Ayers Chicago track. And I'm hearing this like I'm in Chicago, hearing this in a Chicago record store, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is so, and you just, I'll tell you the track I did it too. The Lady, Timmy V and Lady D, where they sampled the Beastie Boys and, I can't remember who else they sampled. But it was one of those tracks where I'm like, this is going to be the biggest song ever. Pete Tong played it first on his show, and he's like, this is a hit. And I'm like, oh my God, I so agree. Died.
Happens all the time.
Never went anywhere.
I was in Manhattan. Oh boy, first time I was ever in Manhattan. I think it was 2003, and I walked into I think it was the Virgin Megastore or Tower, one or the other, in Union Square, and I went into the basement where they have all the 12-inch singles, and I heard this track, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I looked at the guy at the counter, and I said, what is this? And he's like, can't you read? And he points down at the CD that was there, and it was the first Armani Exchange triple disc set that came out. It was like Peter Rutherford mixed on it, Frankie Knuckles mixed on it, and somebody else. Anyway, the Pete Rutherford disc is just magical. It starts out with Merc Time, but it's the French house mix. I would give you a reference to listen to it, but it's not available online anywhere. It's only on this disc. And there is the hottest version. My last favorite Madonna song was the Pete Rutherford remix of her Nothing Fails. It's absolutely gorgeous, but you can't find it anywhere to listen to online. I have no point of reference to show anybody. And of course, no one knows it, but it's gorgeous. That happens all the time where you hear this.
Have you ever been to Amoeba?
Huh?
Have you ever been to Amoeba?
Yes, I have.
In LA?
Yeah, I bought a lot of stuff at Amoeba.
I walked in, exact same story, playing this track, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And they point on the counter to the record. The group's called Blackalicious. Track's called Feel That Way. I own nothing else that sounds like this.
Yeah.
You play this at the right wedding? It kills. But it's the same thing. You walk in and you just know. Well, I mean, and 100% credit to you. The whole Lola's theme, it's a joke, but it's honest to God. It's still, every time I hear it, it's just like, to me, it's just like Bohemian Rhapsody, where you hear that, like, is it just that vocal intro, and you're like, let me sit back. Let me just hold on, because for the next 6.5 minutes, I'm going to be super happy, in a really good mood, and I'm going to go to a very nice place.
There's a band called Shapeshifters that I don't even remember how, but I turned Jay on to, and he's like, this song has become like his theme song. They should change the name of the song to Jay's theme.
What was it? Was it Eddie Taylor that did the original? John Taylor.
Johnny Taylor, What About My Love? Just some crappy, not even a good Johnny Taylor, not Disco Lady. He's the same guy who did Disco Lady, if you remember that song. He had some album in the 80s. He had a track on there called What About My Love. And Shapeshifters, who I believe are actually from the D.C. area, did a, took a sample from that and made this loop and created this other song called Lola's Theme. And I wanted to recreate that loop. I wanted to just reconstruct the song. And I asked Jay, I'm like, I can't find this anywhere. Do you have access to it? Because I knew he had a lot of access to Beatport stuff and whatever. And he did find it for me. And but he was like, what are you talking about? What is this? I'm like, it's cool. I just wanted this loop thing. So as soon as I played Jay the sample and then what song they used the sample in
Love,
he was just like, oh my God, this is my track. I'll play it for you. It's absolutely you'll hear it and you'll be like, why is this Jay's favorite?
I'll do you one better. Here.
There you go.
So from
that's the Johnny Taylor song.
Here's the original. Now here's the best part. Here's where Brian the DJ takes over and starts his loop. Now we just need to pitch this up.
Are you playing my YouTube video?
It's your video.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the video of you doing it. You could have done better with Denon, but yeah, no, I still think, and if those of you watching, if you haven't checked out the master, Brian S. Red's channel, by all means, please do so. But more importantly, check out his chopping and samples of Daft Punk.
You know, I think
you want to be in for some fun?
Crap.
What happened?
Hold on a minute.
John just asked, how did it go? I said, we're still going.
Oh, wow. We did this the last time.
Well, I said to him, I go, how long is this? And Brian goes, I don't know. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, between music and vodka, this could go forever.
Well, that's what he said last week, the very first time we did it. He said, you guys will probably go an hour and a half, so.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's the tough part, because music is one of those weird things. It's a free collectible that will change your life. You bring up a song and I plug it into YouTube or iTunes or whatever, and I can get it and hear it and feel it, and my life will never be the same because of it. So I don't quite understand, you know, and I think the tragedy for like my kids and the new generation is they don't get albums. They don't have to listen through anything to get to something.
There.
They simply just, oh, I got this new Little Pump song. Oh, the new Migos track dropped today. And it's popular for 2 weeks, and then the next, and the next, and the next. They're not into, they're never going to know the joy of opening a sleeve.
No vinyl
liner notes. Yeah.
No vinyl art anymore.
No.
I remember the wall.
And we listened, whether we could or couldn't. We listened to the whole damn album. I remember 8 tracks where you wanted to skip to another track. You had to have a master's degree in electronic engineering to figure out if you hit this, if it would take you to section 4 or move section 1 forward. So you just put them in and played them.
All right, old people, I have a question for you.
Oh, there you go again.
What was the last
Howie.
vinyl record that you listened to? You put on the needle and you listen to it from beginning to end.
Ooh.
Ooh, I've done that.
Klaatu.
What was that?
Bing.
Klaatu.
Klaatu.
Klaatu. That's a Canadian band.
Okay.
And it was rumored, and it wasn't denied by Capitol, that they were the Beatles incognito to see if they could actually chart without revealing that they were the Beatles.
Oh, really?
And it became a very popular album. Yeah,
remember Camel?
Yeah.
Yes.
How about Camel? You remember?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Peter
man.
Frampton.
What a progressive band they were. Yeah.
Peter Frampton was in Camel.
Yeah.
Yep. Peter
My
Frampton.
very first
started
concert.
it.
Peter Frampton with Climax Blues Band, 1979, Boston Garden.
Humble Pie.
Whoa.
They were with Humble Pie to begin with? Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Frampton. Here's the good one. You know the song "I Love You" by Climax Blues Band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never once was that song performed live by the band. They did a video.
Really?
Put out the album, and then they broke up. They never toured the album. They never performed that song live as a band, not once.
You know why, right?
Because they broke up.
Because they couldn't get it right.
Oh, look what you did.
Anybody?
Look at you. Humor and music.
Anybody?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, always laughing.
Well, hey,
these kids are like, what the hell is this whole part talking about? Ron's laughing. He gets
Stray
it.
Cats, Brian Setzler.
The last full album I listened to was my my signed copy of Foreigner the original Foreigner album with the trench coats on it.
Wow.
Great
Luke
album.
Graham signed that one for me. Can
Great
you see
album.
that happen?
Rev on the Red Line, and Damage Done. Damage Done, one of the most underrated songs of all time.
Head Knocker was one I completely forgot about until I was like
That's a good song too.
listening to the. I'm like, I remember Head. Oh, that's Head Knocker, of course.
Double Vision. I got stories with a good friend of mine I've known for 40 years from Boston about Double Vision and that whole Blue Monday. Man, could go forever about this stuff. That's the downside. I said this to someone the other day. Brian knows my two boys, Connor and Colin. 15 and a half, because he gets his license in March, and 12. And not once have they ever come to me and said, I want to go to a concert.
What?
They've never said, oh, I want to go see Bieber or Taylor Swift, anything. I was begging my mom and dad to go see Sabbath, Bad Company, Ted Nugent, Foghat, Blue Oyster Cult, Aerosmith, Boston, begging my parents to go see concerts. My kids have no interest at all.
Yeah.
A, because they think they don't get it, and B, because there aren't tours around that make sense to them. And I've taken them to shows, but they just kind of look at it like how do you know, what are you supposed to do? They see old people like me dancing and singing and jamming and losing their minds, but their generation doesn't get that.
And then, well, my daughter's 20 years old. She just turned 20 years old.
I can't believe Stevie's 20.
Yeah, Stevie's 20. Stevie has seen the Monkees perform with and without Davy Jones before and after he died.
Right.
She was at the Tom Petty concert like a few weeks before he
Oh, yeah, you were telling me that. Yeah, I saw him a week before he died.
And that little shit went to Paul McCartney and didn't bring me. And she got front row.
That's a sin.
And she's 20.
That's a sin.
I know. I'm kind of thinking the same thing. It's like, wait a minute, who bought you your truck?
Yeah. By the way, I just realized
every month.
Man, you're never going to let that go, are you?
Paul McCartney?
I met Stevie. You want to know how much time has changed? I met Stevie out here with you. You brought her out here. She was 14.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's 20 now. Jeez.
20 years old. Second year of college.
If Brian's going to be 70 years old and he's going to be, Stevie, I remember that time you saw McCartney and you didn't bring me.
He's never going to let that go.
She's never going to live it down.
Yeah.
I'll have that written on my headstone. You know, here lies Brian Esred. It's really too bad my daughter didn't bring me to McCartney with her.
Yeah, I can get her over the hump. I'm gonna message her on Facebook, tell her to get you a pack of Marlboro Lights and a large Coke. You'll forget the whole thing. Here, let me do a quick Brian S. Red impersonation, talking on the phone after a gig. Yeah, man, it went great. Hold on one second. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, just, no, large Coke. Nope, that's it. Thank you. So anyway, the gig was really good. What'd you do? I'm just Burger King drive-thru getting a large Coke. Where? About a block from my house. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Don't want to dehydrate between there and home. Every time. Never anything else. Never eats. I don't know that I've seen him physically eat. I've seen him put up pictures of food, but I've never seen it get into his mouth. Like large Coke, cigarette, food on a plate. Never eats it though. You got to wonder about that.
You know, I'm losing weight right now too.
Well, you don't eat. That would be a part of that.
Well, I do eat. But no, I'm dropping weight right now. I'm down. I don't know, probably 10.
Cigarettes and Coke.
No, I'm not drinking Coke.
You couldn't survive in the South.
Kind of stop drinking Coke.
You eat when you go to a wedding. You eat when you go to a wedding in the South. They will insist. I try not to, but you can't go do a wedding and I'm like, look, I'm fine. No, you've got to eat something. They get mad at you.
People don't understand that. When I try to explain this to like West Coast people, you know, it's not professional to eat at a wedding. I'm like, do you understand the insult that I would be putting on these people if I refused the meal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now
it is different.
I get to the end of the line, yes, but no,
I can't. If they want me to eat, I have to eat when they eat because that's the only time in my market, the way we have things structured, where nothing's happening when everyone is eating. If I wait till the end of the line and everyone's done, it's toast time.
Yeah.
So did you eat? No, I don't have time to eat. I've got to be a mic tech.
I've gotten food like that. And they've been ready to go. And I just, I've ate it at the end cold outside.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
I'm standing there like this eating the food. I mean,
catering's like, we're missing a plate setting and some china. I don't know where it is.
Scott's got it out here. He's
Scott, bastard DJ. He's keeping it hostage back there.
Yeah.
I tried to politely refuse to eat at an Italian wedding here.
Oh, that was a mistake.
Oh,
yeah.
No, you didn't.
Old Italian ladies brought me plates of food.
Oh, you eat. What's wrong with you? You look at you.
Yep.
You ever done a Chinese wedding where it's 10 courses?
Oh my God.
Oh my
10
God.
course wedding, food, 10 courses.
Mm-hmm.
Did a wedding like 3 years ago in a Chinese restaurant, and the bride, same thing. I'm like, you know what? I'm working. I'm not going to eat. Don't worry about me. And she kept bringing the portions, which are small, but there's 10 of them.
I've been at a wedding. They ran out.
No. She's like, no, shark fin soup. I'm like, woo, crab this, lobster that. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm eating. And 3 of the older gentlemen in the room came up and said, wow, you must be a very good friend of the bride's. I said, I've met her once. What do you mean? Like, I'm her DJ. That's it. But to have a Chinese bride on her wedding day bring food to someone is such an honor. And I'm like, wow, I never thought of that. And it was real touching because they were really, really kind of blown away. They had not seen this. They were probably in their 60s or 70s. They're like, we've never seen a bride do this. I'm like, well, she's, very Americanized and, she's from here and she's just very caring and she wants to make sure I eat. But they're like, well, you must be someone very important to her. And I was really touched by that.
Wow.
But it's the same thing where they're not telling you to eat because they don't care. They're telling you to eat because they do care.
We've got to be careful with cultures sometimes that are foreign.
You really do.
I'll tell you, it's a personal thing, but it's kind of along the same thing. So, okay, just full disclosure here, I am not a religious person at all. But Stevie's great-grandmother, it was very important to her that Stevie was baptized when she was a baby. So my ex-wife says, we have to baptize the kids. Grandma wants to do it. Are you okay with that? Because she's really, I'm like, well, of course. If Grandma wants it, it's no harm, no foul. We'll do it. So, but if we're going to do it, I'm going to have some fun with this. I want to get the most mafioso person I can to be the godfather of my child. So I have this, I have this really, like, my best friend is a chick. Okay, her name is Cheryl, and she is really good looking. She's married. Her husband Costa is Greek, and Costa's kind of got that Mediterranean, laid back, big belly kind of, he's a Mediterranean guy like that.
Looks like a hitman.
Yeah, he does. Looks like a hitman. So I'm like, Costa and Cheryl are going to be my daughter's godparents. I think that would be hilarious that she has a Greek godfather. So I called. I'm like, hey, yeah, by the way, Costa, we're going to baptize the kids. Going to have you be the godfather. Well, of course I'll do that. Of course. That goes unsaid, that I'll be the godfather. I thought, okay, whatever. But the church is here on the stage has come. Well, what I didn't know is what it meant to be a Greek godfather. The Greek godfather is like a big deal in that culture. It's an honor to accept to, a godchild. And you're financially obligated for college. And every time, like, okay, her birthday is on Christmas, right? So but their daughter's birthday is shortly after Christmas. And we used to go over to their house for their daughter's birthday party right after Christmas. And they would do the whole birthday thing for their daughter and gifts and cake and all that. But then at the end, that was the big reveal because the godchild got her gift for her birthday. And it was always something with exotic stones, and it was always gold, and it was way too expensive, and I had to buy a safe to put this crap in it. Because it was that big of a deal in the culture. I had no idea. So we got to be careful.
It's a learning process. It's still that way when whenever you get into anything new, some new area, and I'm the first to say, I can accomplish anything you want that day, but please let me know what the parameters. I've done a bunch of Christian weddings, and I've said to them up front, here's a song that's a radio edit that kids can hear on the radio, but here's the version that I'll play. And I'll wipe out like ass or bitch or something like that would get by on the radio. Right. And they're so appreciative because it's offensive to them.
Right.
When you're getting paid for something, if you're not willing to understand that you have to let go of who you are for the money sometimes,
right.
It doesn't mean partaking in things that you disagree with, because there's always a no. I had a woman call me one time and said, yeah, I'm looking for a DJ. Oh, great. What's the date? We talked for probably 5 minutes. She said, just do me one favor. Don't play any of that end music. And I'm like, you know what? Let me check you know what? I don't think I'm a good fit.
Right.
I play a lot of different music, and some of it's going to be African American. That's just the way it is. So I'm not a good fit. Well, so you are going to play end music? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what. If this is a legitimate phone call, I wish you well. Good luck with your wedding. If it's a joke, it's not funny, but let's call it a day. And I hung up. And it's only happened once, and I kind of think it was a joke, but it's not funny. But you are going to get people like that.
Yeah.
And it's your job to vet the client as much as it is for them to vet you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just did a video, actually, I guess, where I was kind of going the opposite direction. Because I think sometimes, and this is my opinion, and I'm not preachy, I'm not trying to be preachy at all, but I think sometimes DJs try to be the moral police at their events, where they decide what is morally acceptable and unacceptable.
I had to sign something at a school dance one time. Yeah, I had to sign that they would, if they heard anything that was derogatory, you know what I mean, they were going to take money out.
Oh, no, that's completely understandable. If your client doesn't want it, that's fine. If your client says, I don't want anything at all, I have no problem with that. But on the other hand, on the flip side of things, if your client asks for something that maybe you have a problem with, that's where it gets weird. And that's what's happening. I was talking about Cardi B's Bodak Yellow. And I have played that song at every event that I've performed at since it came out, by request of the client. So it's not like I put it on. I didn't put it on because I thought it was a great song. I didn't put it on.
I thought you liked that, right?
Huh?
I thought you liked that. I didn't.
No, I don't like the song. What I enjoy is the reaction I get from the crowd when I play it.
Oh,
right.
It's a very different kind of pleasure. So I can sit at home, and I was testing these Evolve 50s. And I was playing Rufus and Shaka Khan's Ain't No Body through them. I was playing Peg by Steely Dan. I played, I don't know, what did I say, King of Pain by The Police, a bunch of tunes. And I enjoy listening to those songs. Plus, they sounded cool in the speakers. I would not have played Cardi B's Bodak Yellow through the speakers. I wouldn't have played it at any given time because it's not my kind of music. I am 46 years old. That is not what I dig. I like a lot of stuff, but not that. Having said that, if I went to a wedding and I decided that these people were going to listen to what I thought was morally acceptable and play the songs that I thought were the ones that they should listen to, who the hell am I to do that? That's not my job. They tell me what they want to hear.
That's the first thing I tell the client. I'm for you. I'm not for me.
Right.
You want me to pick out something. Well, you're the DJ. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can play out of the top 200, which Intelligent DJ puts out, the top 200 most requested. And I give the client that. In fact, I use that, and that works a lot of it. I mean,
for sure.
I want to play Foster the Kids.
Foster the People.
Foster the People. That's how much I hate them. Foster the People.
I like that song.
No.
But the first time I ever heard it was in England, so it was a cool
School shooting songs, off limits. Rape songs, off limits. Eminem, the one where he talks about rape, off limits.
I cannot.
Formation.
I agree.
Formation by this was going to get a reaction. I won't play Formation by Beyonce. It's anti-cop, anti-military.
I am not the moral or ethical cop at my events.
I only am when it comes to certain tracks like that where I'll say I don't have it.
Well, if
Should I?
that's fine, but if a client asks for something specific, I mean,
This is the deal. Is it going to benefit the bigger picture? My take on it is this. If I do or say or play something at an event that could offend somebody that may have been in a position to hire me and now they won't, what was the benefit?
that was the argument somebody gave me today. That was the
That's
exact
my
argument they gave me.
So if I play Foster the People and it's better run faster than a bullet about kids getting shot, and somebody had lost a child to that, they have every right to be like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? You played
Right.
Okay, but how far do we
but it's my take on it.
But this is where I'm having a hard time, because what we're doing is we're trying to dictate taste, and I don't like
you're
doing that.
dictating certain tracks
It's
don't fit the moment.
Now, I'm not going to select that song to play it, but if a client wants it, who am I to tell them no? I just
You're the
don't agree
DJ.
with. That doesn't mean
You're the
anything. I'm running a service.
I want chocolate pudding after the Chateaubriand. You're the chef who knows that chocolate pudding is going to leave a bad taste in my mouth and that it's not the best thing for me. You know what? I've got a delicious creme brulee.
Jay,
I've got another song that's better than that.
how about the YMCA by the Village People?
Yeah, but I'm not going to view it the same way that it's meant to be viewed.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. We're talking about taste.
When I did Gay New Year's in San Diego, 13 years.
There you go.
Oh,
The twist.
Never had an issue.
Good golly, Miss Molly. This goes back to the Cole Porter Great American Songbook. I mean, this
Christmas
is
time.
always happened.
Every year I laugh. Every year when I get to the lyrics of, is it White Christmas? I can't think of the Christmas track, but it's when it's like, you know, are you married? She'll say no, man, but you can do the job when you're in town. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Am I the only one? Am I the
Winter
only
Wonderland.
one? You're going
you're
like
not the only one that picks up on that.
friends with benefits. This is hardcore.
You're not. But, oh.
You know what, Brian? I completely agree with you. We're not to be the moral police, but at the same time, we both know other DJs who there are events they will not do. And I'm not here to judge them for doing or not doing a certain event.
Oh,
You know,
no.
if
If
I had
you have a
30
moral
songs-
problem going into an event, I don't blame you.
No, if I had 30 or 40 songs that I said I cannot play these 30 or 40 songs, you'd have every right to say you might be in the wrong profession. But if there's a track here and there over 20 years that I say, you know what, I'm going to be honest with you. I used to be with the PD on Crisis. I used to deal with this. I was trained for school shootings. I'm just not a fan of this one. Plus, it's a shit song. It's not like I'm giving up, you know, Stairway to Heaven. And yes, you can double rate. Well, put it this way. When Michael Jackson had all his problems, I didn't stop playing Michael Jackson.
No.
And no one's ever come up and said, I can't believe you're playing this pedophile. There are artists that transcend their reputation. Now, I will say this. I don't play Gary Glitter anymore.
I never played Gary Glitter.
But
I wouldn't even
Rock
think
Part
about it.
2 is a great track. But let's be honest. He went a little too far south.
No,
yes,
yeah. I mean, then you could say the same thing about Michael Jackson too. I mean,
yeah, you can. But Michael Jackson transcends. His music stopped being him and started just being itself.
I'm not judging anybody for having a moral issue with doing a job.
Right.
If there's anything at all that makes you uncomfortable, don't do it.
Hey.
No matter what it is, don't do it.
I fully
But
agree.
if you take a job, and the client asks for something that you don't like,
Tell me you don't have
if
it.
you like it or not.
Just got a message from John.
You know what?
What
I've
if
never
John
lost
won?
jobs because I didn't play Formation.
He wanted to know how it was going. I said 45 people. He went, oh my, 3 exclamation points.
We still have 45.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
What
Between participants in the chat room. Yeah.
Wow. Have you ever DJed in a skilled nursing facility?
No. I know a guy who's an Elvis impersonator, and he tours all of the nursing facilities here and does performances. The guy's just got a heart of gold. He's wonderful with that, but I've never personally done him.
I usually 1 hour is about all their you can get. There's about an hour in there, but they get up and dance. They're in their 80s and they get up and dance.
Because they
It's
have no
entertainment.
shame.
It's something.
Something in them.
They're
Yeah.
not trying to look cool like everybody else. They'll do what they want to be happy.
Exactly.
And they love
If you ever want to read a great book, read All I Ever Needed to Learn, I Learned in Kindergarten. Or All I Ever Needed to Know, I Learned in Kindergarten.
That is a good
Robert
book.
Fulghum.
I need to
Yeah.
get that.
He brings up a point where you
Yeah.
can ask a kindergartner to dance, sing, or play, and they will. You ask a fifth grader, and they go, oh, what do you want me to sing? How do you want me to dance? What do you want me to play? And then you ask a freshman in high school, and they can't sing, they can't dance, and they won't play. And it's that change. Well, that happens when you get old, too. You get up to like 70, 80, you're not looking at another 50 years of this. You're looking at, I'm enjoying every moment. The elderly are the best people to DJ for.
Absolutely do. I have fun. They're the best.
It's a blast.
They have a blast.
Absolutely.
Absolutely have a blast. Oh, they
Yeah.
don't want to stop. Some of them I said, no, the only one, because they're on a schedule, and that's understandable. So I go about an hour of it, and, and I'm like, hey, no problem. But at first I was like, do that? No, I didn't want to go in and do that at first. I was like, I don't know if I want to do a nursing home. I'm like, I look old, but I am old, but, I still, why not? So,
Well, they have an entertainment budget, and it's usually like during the week in the afternoon or something.
Yeah. I charge them a little bit, not much. I mean, I'm not going to get that much out of it. I go in there with a little small system. I'm not going in there with a ball 50.
Right.
No. I got a set of those. I got a set of those battery powered Samsons, the ones that run off of batteries.
Yeah.
That's what I use. These things are great. They're great for ceremonies, and that's what I use. You don't need to blow them out of there.
No.
They can't hear anyway.
Yeah,
No.
Chris is laughing about this. I see Chris laughing about this. But believe me, I mean, we grew up in the rock and roll era, and people still like to rock and roll even
Sure.
at 70.
Yeah.
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 Brian, remember we were talking last week, I guess, about the Bose systems?
Uh-huh.
We have a fella in my market that is working 5 days a week doing the nursing homes. And
Yeah.
he goes in with that Bose system and he does acoustic.
Yeah.
And he does the karaoke tracks where he'll sing along to it and strum the guitar.
Yep.
Gets the people dancing and singing. 1 hour, $200, and he does it 5 days a week.
Wavy Davy, right?
That's a
Yeah.
good there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wavy Davy's father, before he passed away, had Alzheimer's. And so he was in an assisted living facility. And this other guy I'm talking about, you may have seen him comment on some of my posts, Rockin' Randy Roeder is what he calls himself.
Right.
And Randy does the Elvis impersonating thing, and he's done it for years.
Does he?
I mean, he's really into it. And Dave told me, it was really cool. He shared this with me. He says, when Randy's going to come, my dad gets so excited. He thinks Elvis is coming to see him. He gets so excited because he thinks it's really Elvis.
It's awesome.
Wow,
And
he must be
that
good.
is so cool. I mean, the gifts he gives to these people is just amazing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I got a lot of respect for Randy for doing those events. And he's into it. He's really into it. And he does the Elvis with the Hawaiian shirt and does the Elvis with the big suit and, several different Elvis costumes he has. And different shows he does. And Randy's your age, Howie. He's not a kid.
Wow.
And he's still doing these things he just, him and his wife do them together. I think their outfit is called Almost Live Entertainment.
I think you're as young as you feel.
That I'm in trouble.
I'm as young as the women, I feel.
Yeah, I'm feeling that one, too.
Magazines don't count, Howie.
Whoa! Got me, Robin.
I want to go back to what Robin said earlier. She was talking about how, if you're in your 70s, you're still enjoying the rock and roll.
Yeah.
I've told this story before, and I'm going to tell it again because I think it's relevant. My mother will be 77 years old next month. And my nephew got married in, I think, 2013. Yeah, 2013. And we, out of state, we went down there for the wedding. And he hired this DJ. I told him I'd do it for him, but he wanted to hire this DJ. He didn't want me to do it, which was fine. He wanted me to just be a guest. So he had very specific instructions for the DJ because his grandmother was going to be there, and he wanted her to hear things that she liked and all this stuff. And the DJ was very good. He was solid, and he started out with very specific. I know they micromanaged this guy's request. It was a Buddy Holly song. There was an Elvis song. It was a lot of oldies stuff right at the beginning of the night. And people were dancing, having a good time. And my mother is sitting in a chair like this during all these oldies songs. And about 20 minutes into it, he throws on the track, What Does the Fox Say? Do you remember that song?
You told the story before.
My mother lost her fucking mind. Oh my God. She got up and she had hands in the air, dancing around. That was her jam.
Wow.
But that's my mom. I mean, so I make generalizations when I play. You know, when I see certain people on the dance floor or certain people in the audience, I'll look at a group of people and say, okay, I think they'll like this. But in the back of my mind, I say to myself, but my mom wouldn't. You know? I remember one of my first friends who got married. You know, when you're young, one of your first pals that got married. It was the same thing. My mom was getting up to like techno, like 2 Unlimited and AB Logic and things like that. The techno that was out in the early 90s. She wasn't getting up to the oldies at all. So it just depends, you know. Just because there's an age thing doesn't mean that's particularly what they're into.
Holy crap! We just bumped up to 60. I guess the other.
Hey,
my
I
God.
want to ask you guys something. If y'all,
We're like the last call place. We're the only bar that's open.
Yeah.
we're the late night. Let me ask you all something. Have you guys been getting these calls and texts and emails that they'll do is they won't ask general questions. You know, they'll ask, my daughter's getting married.
It's a scam.
Yeah. Do you accept credit cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been going around for a while.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. They said is coming from like Wedding Wire and stuff like that.
It's just scammers.
Yeah.
It's a scam.
Ron is dancing like he's got to go to the restroom. He has something to say.
Let him get in there.
So we're gonna let Ron scream something at us. You're on. Wait, not yet. Now you're on.
I bet it's Brian Adams.
Brian,
Yes.
just going back to, oh, there you go. My phone acted up. Going back to underestimating, I'm just going to call it underestimating people at dances and stuff and their age and the young kids and stuff. So I know there's a lot of info out there that we've been talking, that you guys have been talking about on that. But I had this old guy after the wedding, first, second, third dance and all that, and it was just like what you were saying, playing. And the older people were not getting up dancing because, you know, you kind of start off with, you know, big band, whatever, just in their kind of era. And this guy, grandpa walked up into the middle of the dance floor and said, stop the music. I said, okay. And he said, I want to make a request. And he said, but I can't remember the song. And it's like that Madonna lady, whatever, and started to say something. I said, are you talking about like a version? And he says, yeah, that one. And I said, what? And anyways, I played it, and everybody else come up around him, and they had a blast. And at that moment, I never, ever underestimated anybody after that point.
It reminds me of when I was a teenager. My mother, I was in high school, and my mom, I got home from school one day, and she's like, man, I heard this song on the radio. I love this song. I want to buy it. This is the coolest song. I dance around the kitchen every time they play it on the radio. I said, what song? Well, I can't say. Well, what does it sound like? What do they? Well, I'm embarrassed. I can't tell you the name of the song. Well, come on, Mom. Why can't you say the name of the song? It's a dirty word. I don't want to say it. I'm uncomfortable saying it. Like, well, come on. Just tell me. She says, okay, the song's called Pussy.
Oh, yeah.
I said, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pepper.
It's called Pussy. What are you talking about? Yeah, they say pussy real good. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Yep. Push it.
Push it.
Push it. Yeah.
She heard pussy.
The other thing is when you're dealing with young brides and grooms is to explain to them sometimes, you know, I know you only want your music, but I'm going to play older music too. Well, you know, older like early 2000s. I'm like, are your grandparents going to be there? Yeah. Do you mind if I ask how old they are? Are they in their like 60s, 70s, 80s? Oh, they're in their 70s. I'm like, oh, okay. So when disco was hitting, they would have been in their late 20s doing lines off the back of toilets at clubs.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Hey, you're right.
And then you play it. And I was resident at a gay hotel, and I did a lot of their events, weddings, and then every New Year's Eve I would do. In the first year, we had 50. Didn't charge. They'd never had a DJ. I played for like 4 hours. Within 5 years, we had about 795 guys show up, paid $10 to get in, and I would play 8 to 2. And every year I would look at the crowd, and it was like 40 up, all guys. And I did 70s, 80s, a little new, but only key new, like a newer Madonna or Cher, something like that. I literally played that card. Yeah. And I'd have guys coming up going, oh, this reminds me so much of when we used to go to the garage. I'm like, what garage? Paradise. I'm like, and I always wanted to stop and go, okay, everyone just go have a drink. I want to talk to this guy. Yeah. Because I'm reminding him of Larry Levan. And I'd be like, did you ever go to the Loft? He's like, oh, David was so quiet, but such a great DJ. And I'm like, but that's the thing. You've got to understand when you hear a song, if I hear Benny and the Jets, I'm back in 73. I mean, I'm 9 years old, and I'm on my little Schwinn 5-speed driving around Belmont, Mass going, oh my God, when I'm an adult, this song sounds like what kissing a girl is going to feel like. You know, that's what people have, those memories. Don't rob them of it unless it's that Foster the Friggin' People song. And never let them hear it again. Hate that crap.
I'm such an asshole. That was my ringtone for my daughter for a long time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's funny. It was funny. We have a sense of humor.
Remember Rick D's Disco Duck?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that's the thing. It's what's the memory going to be? And let me tell you, we all know one thing about weddings. The money is the memory. Tears are dollars. If you can get somebody to go back in time to that special moment where it all came together over that song and bring them back to it, sure. Every time I get a mother-son dance, I always ask them the same thing. Do you remember growing up if you danced with your mom to like Neil Diamond or anything? Does anything ring a bell? Well, my mom used to play this song when I was growing up, and she'd grab my hands and jump around the kitchen. I'm like, let's do that for the mother-son dance. Because let's get your mom to have a memory and understand one thing, that her son cares so much about her that he wants to let her know that he remembers that time.
I don't care enough about my mom to play the song she wanted to dance with me to.
Which was Foster the... Oh.
No. My mother...
Beneath My Wings.
My mother has come a long way. My mother is so cool. She is the coolest chick in the world, man. You talk to her... It's like me as a 77-year-old woman. She's hip. She's cool. Anyway,
but there was
it wasn't always like that. Mother was naive. We were from southeastern Indiana, and she lived her whole life and kind of sheltered. Got married at 18.
John Mellencamp.
No, she got a hold of the record A Night at Studio 54 when in about 77, 78, and she'd play it while she was vacuuming. And her favorite song on there that she used to want me to dance with to her was Mystique's In the Bush. I know what that song means.
Oh.
And I knew at 6, 7 years old what that song meant. I'm like, Mom, I'm not dancing to this song. And she's dancing around the living room in her footies. Push, push, in the bush. I'm like, no, stop. I'm going to go play with my Legos. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
We're not doing this. So we're not doing that song for, if I ever were to get married, we're not playing that one.
Or when you
like the story about everybody's talking. I like that story.
Yeah.
The other one is the timing.
That's on the do not playlist.
Yeah. Well, you're going to give a 5-minute song. It's a tough first. Mother's son is the worst dance at the wedding because it's the son who's so anxious and is going to cry and doesn't want to. So I always sell them on the best, Golden Slumbers by Ben Folds, minute 40. Or In My
Everybody
Life
wants. What the hell's that one song that everybody wants?
by Dave.
Wish.
What? Oh, My Wish by Heartland.
And it's like 5 minutes long.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. It's just like I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack. Again, 4.5 minutes long, and they don't have the time. They really don't. And you need something short and sweet. And, you know, Louis Armstrong, Wonderful World, you're going to elicit a memory. Even though it's overplayed, it's only 2:11. You know?
That's an open dance song for me.
When they requested the Heartland and that, the groom specifically told me, "Look, I don't want to be out there." I said, "I'll fade you out after 2 minutes," and that's what
I've done. We'll go out after the first verse.
You have to.
Yep, right after the chorus. Bye. Fade it right out. He walks off. Everybody's happy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the times when you would have a bride go out with her dad to butterfly kisses and
I remember the time when we didn't even give them the option of what song to play. We'd say, "Do you want the father-daughter dance?" And they would say yes, and we'd play "Daddy's Little Girl" by Ray Price.
Ed Martino.
Oh, whoever it is.
Yeah.
What was something else I was gonna? Oh, you know, the other thing that you can do if the song runs long like that, especially if it's usually you do the father-daughter dance first, and then you do the mother-son dance. That's typically how I like to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So after the mother-son dance, it's kind of open dancing. So if it's an extra long song, sometimes I'll just say, "How about I just invite everyone to join you on the dance floor after the first chorus?" And that way,
you want a smooth transition? Do Israel? I can't pronounce his last name.
What a Wonderful World.
But do the long one.
Rainbow. Yeah.
Right. And they dance together to the first half of Rainbow. And then you invite everyone to join them for the back half of Wonderful World. And that's your open dance song.
Yeah.
Because that way they're only out there for 2 minutes and change. And you say, it'll be father-daughter for a minute. I'll invite the groom and his mother out. Then at 2 minutes and 9 seconds or whatever it is, I'll invite everyone out. So you're only out there for a couple minutes, and they love that idea.
I've done that. And, you know, I follow that up with Foster the People usually.
Oh,
That's a big one.
I knew he was going to throw that in there.
You couldn't find it. You couldn't find a like Foo Fighters song to play.
And then I play Lola's theme.
Okay, that's a great choice. Obviously, you're a talented and handsome individual who knows.
But
what
then
he's doing.
I replay Foster the People after that because it was such a big hit.
I would play "I Remember" by Deadmau5.
Wow, 68 right now.
What are these people doing here? I hope we're.
I can't see the chat live. I only see 15.
Yeah, how he's got the master list.
I have the master control here.
There's people who have asked to be a part of it and people who have not. So.
I seen Jimmy come in. Where'd he go off to?
He's here. He's just not saying anything.
He's here. He's in the chat room. We have 53 in the chat room and 15 participants.
Okay. Wow.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I think you would chime in on something anyway. If somebody would.
Yeah, Jimmy, are you still awake?
Well, here, I'll turn his mic on, which is probably a big mistake. Jimmy.
Talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
Jimmy. No, Jimmy don't got a mic on.
Yeah, Jimmy's.
What do you want, Ron? Sweet Jesus, what the hell now? Hold on a second. All right, yell at us.
Jimmy.
Howie.
Oh.
Yes.
Howie.
Yes, sir.
On my phone I got 121 in the chat and 16 on the participant.
You
Those
have
are
the
weighted numbers.
I have 121 on my phone.
Yeah, but this is what's active right now, as of right now.
Hey,
that was the totals for the night.
Oh, that was the total for the night?
Yeah, what you're seeing is the total for the night.
The chat is 122?
Yeah.
And then participants is 15.
The
okay, that's for the whole night. Okay.
it's great to be in that the DJNTV, getting a lot of stuff I didn't know existed off of that, by the way.
John has fun with it. I mean, that's his baby, and he's been real consistent. I can,
Yeah.
oh boy. 2 years ago, I was at NAMM, and I'd been writing for Dishaki News for a while. But John and I, we knew each other, of course, but we weren't like close or anything. And John came up to me at NAMM. He said, "I got an idea. I need to kill some time on a Tuesday. For the next 2 weeks, would you be willing to meet up at like 9 o'clock and do like an hour show on just whatever?" I don't care. Sure, I'll do it. It was a 2-week plan. And we just kind of went over that time, kind of like we're doing tonight.
Oh, hey,
But it's been fun, and I don't know. It's just kind of the thing you do every single Tuesday night. But I think he's going to switch my night to Monday.
Yeah, but you even in this business, you learn. Even I've been doing it for over 30-something years. I still learn new stuff.
We're always learning something.
Oh, yeah.
If you stop
learning,
you need to get out of it. If you're going to stop, you need to leave it be. Sell your crap and get out of it.
Exactly. You're done.
You're done.
You're absolutely
I'm going to continue on. I'm retiring from the other job that I've had for 21 years.
Yeah.
To go back to this. And I started with this, and I have somebody said, "You got a degree in broadcasting? Why aren't you on the radio?" Because radio went automated.
Right.
Let's face it. I mean, we talked about that way back in the 80s that I actually got to spin vinyl on the radio. Wooden tone arm. Yeah. Wooden tone arm turntables. Yeah.
I've been doing this a long time, and I'm smart enough to know when to reach out for help, and it's been a great resource. Do you remember, Brian? It was last year I had asked you about the wedding that was coming up in May on your show, where the bride was estranged from her father because he abandoned her at birth, and he was going to be at the wedding, and her dad had died, the person that raised her. And I remember asking you guys to go, she doesn't want to have a father-daughter dance. What do we do? She doesn't want to disrespect her mom that's there. And you said, just play the song. Don't even announce it. Tell her when the song cues up, just go over, grab your dad's hand or your father's hand, not her dad, her father's hand, and bring him to dance.
Yeah.
I had similar stuff.
Don't make a thing of it. Just do it,
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I
get a lot of I've got 2 dads there, and they're both important. How do I do this? And I'm like, you got 2 choices. Split a song. Whoever walks you down the aisle, the other one gets the first dance with you. So if your real dad, if your stepdad walks you down the aisle, you say, since you walked me down the aisle and gave me away, I'm going to have the first father-daughter dance with my dad. Then have the second one with them. Split it up after dinner. Do the first, then mother-son open, then do cake and another one. I have a bunch, too, where the dads aren't in the picture at all, and we do a mother-daughter dance.
Right.
Like, the rules have changed.
I've done that,
have to do anything anymore.
We
really
don't have that same format anymore. Weddings used to be so structured. You had to do, remember that? It was like it was written in stone that you had to do it. You don't have to do bride. I'm like, I'm flexible. Whatever you want to do, I'm open to do it. You got a very open mind.
I think the moment you allow people to understand your role is to customize things for them, not for you.
Not for yourself.
Absolutely.
And let them and tell them. That's why I say, did you guys ever go to shows together? Did you go to, EDM shows? Do you go to Ultra? What represents you? What can I play during dinner that I'll get a thumbs up from you? And they always give me something. Well, we really love this. And I'll remember it, and I'll play it during dinner. And all of a sudden, I get people coming up going, hey, how long have you known the bride and groom? I met them twice. You're not a friend of theirs? No. Oh, well, I saw them giving you like high fives and thumbs up and
Yeah.
we were playing all this stuff for them. And I'm like, yeah, but like if you met me and you were doing an event for me, it would take 2 minutes for me to disclose, well, Aerosmith and this and that. And if it came on, I'd have that reaction. It's kind of like,
Sure.
you know you're going to have a hamburger, but then out comes the best burger you've ever had. And it's the anticipation, but it's the surprise at the same moment. I don't know what has missed that mark. And when I see videos on YouTube where guys are like, hey, everybody, DJ Jimmy Jazz, and blah, 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 it's like, you know what? Did they ask for that? Or are you nervous? It's like toasting. When I get a best man who's really anxious, I will flat out say to them, do me a big favor. Please don't drink too much. No, I'm going to steady my nerves. I'm like, no, you're not.
No.
You're going to actually open your mouth. You know why criminals confess? Because when you're really anxious, you tell things you shouldn't. I've had more best men go, remember that time we hooked up with that girl? Remember that time we got high? Remember that time we stole a car? It's like, you didn't just do that, did you? Either say the right thing quickly and simply or say nothing at all, please, because you're not going to enhance their day.
No.
Exactly.
This doesn't get a do-over. If I ruin Howie's house party and the next day I call him and go, man, I ruined your night, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll come back in a couple weeks on a Saturday and I'll do a free house party to make it up to you. Howie would probably be like, wow, that's pretty good of Jay to do that. You know, yeah, thanks, Jay, I appreciate it. I can't do that with your wedding.
Not with a wedding.
I don't know why people think it's like, oh, you got a second chance. There is no second chance.
No.
Right.
More people are afraid of public speaking than flying. We have a role in this. We need to step it up a little bit and do the job we're supposed to do professionally. Not, oh, well, I thought. No, this is master of ceremonies. You are the one in charge.
So back to what you originally started talking about before you went off on your tangent, and now you're talking about something completely different. I don't even know what it is.
That never happened.
He chimed into what we were talking about.
Yeah, Jay is like the attention deficit disorder, pal. He just jumps from one thing.
Are we talking about Expo? They got great wings at that dive bar across from the Irish pub.
Scott had mentioned earlier that tradition isn't what it used to be. People are making their own rules now.
They are.
And
They are.
I'm having the most fun.
Yeah,
With
it's fun now.
Yeah.
But I'm having the most fun with gay events.
Me too.
I'm doing my first one this year. I've never done one before.
Yep.
Scott, it's just
50.
like what you're talking about. There's no rule.
They're great.
And what when you think about even any straight wedding, your traditional wedding, there's still some expectation from grandma. She's going to want to see this thing, or your Aunt Betty's going to want to see this thing, or whatever. There's still something.
That's the nicest couple.
These gay weddings, it's like no one expected these guys to get married in the first place.
They're very professional and very good to deal. It's two ladies, and they're very. I mean, everything I've had to deal with bridezillas, I'm not dealing with this. These folks they're really great to deal with. Oh,
I've never had a wedding with two women. The two guys is what I typically get, and what's so cool about it is
you were going to say do, weren't you?
Men reason like men, So if they say something, hey, we're thinking about doing this. What do you think? And I can say, I don't think that's a good idea. And they'll say, well, why not? And I give them what I feel is a logical explanation. And they look at me like, that makes sense. Let's not do that. Can you imagine a bride? This doesn't happen typically.
But you got to understand the South is different on this because, man, I first got approached. All this going on, are you going to do, a lot of the DJs here, you going to do same? I said, it's a business. And my son has a business degree. He said, Dad, you have to handle it. You can't discriminate. You'll get into serious trouble if you do. I think you probably picked up on the vibe that I'm not about to tell anybody what to do. I don't care what anybody does. As long as they're happy and they're not hurting anybody.
No, you don't tell them what to do. You tell them how to do it because that's your expertise.
No, I'm talking about just, as far as anything, that's me. But when it comes to the, yeah, the gay weddings. They've all been cool.
Mm-hmm.
They've all been very easy to work with. They want things. These gentlemen I work with want a lot of stuff, but they're willing to pay for it, and they're cool about it, and they're not weird about it. They'll say, "What can you do? We'd like something like this. What can you do?" And you tell them, and they're like, "Oh, that sounds great." They're not trying to reinvent the wheel or anything.
You got to understand, I'm from the South, and that's when you're from the South on that, they're like, what are you doing? You know, as well as I do, we've had a hard time, even in our court system here in the South, accepting it. They have the hardest time wanting to accept the fact, even letting them get a marriage license. To me, it's each his own. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've done 50 gay weddings. I've done 100 different gay events. I'm going to tell you one thing they all had in common. They were weddings.
Yeah.
Like when it comes right down to it, I've spoken, gave a seminar in LA, gave a seminar in Vegas. They genuinely are weddings. Music might be different. You might have a different crowd. I will say this, and this isn't the morality issue, but this is my take. I tell every gay same-sex couple I get, my goal with your wedding is to have people on Monday morning go, I went to the coolest wedding over the weekend. The food was great, the location, we jammed all night, we danced, we had so much fun. Oh, really? What was it? Oh, it was 2 girls that my wife knows. I don't want them to start with, I went to a gay wedding.
Right.
I want them to walk away and say they went to the best wedding. And every time, 100% that I've said that to couples, they look at me and go, that's exactly what we want.
The first time I ever did
they don't want a gay wedding because they don't want to make it something it's not. They want to be able to prove to people we're 2 people that love each other and we have the right to get married. We want to.
Well, they met with 4 other DJs before they met with me. I sat down and met with them and treated them fantastic.
Well, of course, they're just people, you know. It's
right. And
I don't think of my mom and dad as 2 people having sex together. They're my mom.
Let's not go there.
You know? Well, no, I mean you don't though. I'm proving a point.
Right.
Why would you think of anyone like that? I'm not that pervy. I don't look at a couple and think about what they're doing when they're in their private time. That's their private thing. So, but you know, I was the first gay wedding I ever did. Gentleman, he was actually a DJ, and he knew me from YouTube and Facebook and all that. Asked me to do it, and during dinner, it was there was a long dinner. I went outside to have a smoke, and there was a guy out there. He was military. I think he was a Marine, and he was talking about how much he hated the president, and basically going down this whole list of conservative values, like just preaching it. Whatever, I don't care. But what I thought was interesting was this was his cousin. And one thing had nothing to do with the other with this guy. He was at this wedding, and he was participating, and he had tears in his eyes too. So I guess I think of him maybe as you may think of a Southern conservative, where they're kind of hardcore about certain things. But sometimes one thing has nothing to do with the other. And if I ever had any doubt about 2 men getting married, that it was a real emotional experience, I've always 100% of the time done the ceremony, like performed the ceremony, not just shown up and done the reception, but I performed the ceremony as well. Moving stuff, man.
Oh yeah, totally.
I can see.
So you did, I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you performed.
No, he doesn't mean it that way.
No, I'm not that. No, I performed as far as not. I didn't perform the marriage
ceremony.
Yeah,
Okay.
mic tech, playing the cues and the music and all that.
By
and I've
the
done a lot
way,
of coordinating events too.
Along those lines, Brian, I've now been an ordained minister.
Pastor Jay.
Yes, in the Universal Life Church for 15 years. When I did it, it cost $15. I have stepped in and saved 2 weddings where the officiants didn't show up.
Wow.
I've married 4 friends, 2 gay couples. When you get off the computer tonight, you go to the Universal Life Church website, you give them your credit card, you become ordained, so that when you do a wedding ceremony for music, if the officiant doesn't show up, you're now legally allowed to marry this couple.
Do you still
if you
have to
need
have a notary?
backup,
Do you still
what?
have to do you still have to have a notary stamp and all that, or no?
No, if you're an officiant in the Universal Life Church out of Modesto, California, you can legally marry anyone in all 50 states.
The
Every
law
DJ
here
should have it.
The law here is that a couple thinks they're married, they're married.
Oh,
Regardless of who
I sign a marriage license in your state, that couple's now married. Because I've been granted by the state the power to do so. Every DJ should at least have their license and be an officiant, because you will have a wedding where they don't show up, and you will be able to step in and marry that couple.
That puts that point up there. Boom.
I'm just saying, I mean, like when it's all said and done, you have a beautiful ceremony, but some guy's getting $600 to stand there for 30 minutes, read out of a Bible, and then say, by the power vested in me by the state of Georgia, by the state of California. Exactly. Not God, not the universe, by the state. The state sees things the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the
ordained, boom.
Some of the most interesting conversations I've had at weddings were with Catholic priests.
Because they rock.
Well, they rock. I'm not. I mean, I was never Catholic. My family's not Catholic. I don't really have a lot of
Irish
insight on what's
Catholic,
going on
right?
with
Yeah.
that.
Boston Irish Catholic.
But what I've noticed is that many times when I'm at these events, if I see a guy in a collar, he's quite reserved.
Oh, yeah.
He's almost like I'm meeting a representative of him. It's not really him. It's him with the collar on. But if I walk up to a Catholic, it's got to be a Catholic priest too. If I walk up to or a rabbi, rabbis are like this too, but more so with Catholic priests. If I walk up to a Catholic priest and I say, "It's a strange business we're in, isn't it?" They take that guard right down and they tell you stories. It's like you're up here now, and they want to tell you all this cool stuff and funny stuff. Oh man, I've had so much fun talking to these guys. Some of the stories I've heard, I wish I'd have written them all down in detail, because they'd have made a good book. Some really, really cool stories these guys tell.
Ron, where's Ron? Ron's.
This one guy, I remember this one guy told a story one time.
Get you.
He said he was a DJ when he was in college, but he was moonlighting as a DJ. He was going to the seminary, and that wasn't allowed. This is back in the 60s. So he would go and do this late night show, and he had this name, and he was even like going and like riffing on his DJ microphone voice and giving his little, jingles. Hey, I'm rocking, blah, blah, blah. You're here listening to the hottest tunes, whatever. He'd always do the graveyard shift. And it was the old school, storefront, radio station. But the curtains were closed at night when he would do the overnights.
Wow.
And somebody called and said, "Look, so-and-so called in sick. Can you do this afternoon show?" It's like, yeah, I can do it. That's fine. So he rushes over there, and he, puts on a record. I think I dropped Uptight by Stevie Wonder, and I'm doing this whole, hey, it's rockin', blah, 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 you're here. And then I was dancing around, having a good time, really enjoying myself. And I turned around and I noticed these ladies were standing at the window looking at me very odd. These older women. And I looked down and I still had my robes on.
Nice.
I'm thinking, that should be in a movie. That's funny.
I agree.
There you go.
I just had this visualization in my head. He was a very colorful guy. But I've had several conversations like that. So much fun.
There's too much judgment. There's too much, and again, it's customization. It's every event's different. Every couple's different. Every moment's different. But we show up. It's like we're warriors. And you got to get in the ring and do a fight. And you're going to fight, and you got all these tools.
Let's see.
It's like, what do I use? What am I going to do? Because sometimes it's a battle to get them on the dance floor. I've had those weddings where I literally wanted to say on the microphone, "Are you people this? Like, what is wrong with you people?" I've played Michael Jackson, Journey, AC/DC, Def Leppard, Like nothing is working. And then all of a sudden an hour goes by and they're all over the floor and you're like, oh, you just get liquored up.
Yeah. Liquor and alcohol kicked in.
I think the weapon you should use are probably nunchucks. I think that'd be a good one for you.
Yeah, nunchucks would be good for me, I think.
Go ahead, Ron.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to mention up here in Canada, because we just kind of legalized gay weddings up here and stuff. There's kind of two things I wanted to ask you guys. First of all, though, the United Church up here, I don't know if you have it down there, but the United Church here in Canada will marry, are the only church that they treat everybody equal, and they'll do gay weddings and everything else like that. Very surprised that you can get it, and also I'm very surprised that you can get a Ordained ticket for $15 or off the website. We can't do that here in Canada. Has to be has to be ordained, or it's an office from the government, so it's really hard to get that. But the other thing is, for the other question I had for you in regards to I mean, I'm very open. I live outside the box. I don't really care what people say, and I respect everybody. But when it first came out, and it's still kind of a problem here in Canada, do you guys have a problem within your area that if you were to do, I mean, when you do or did gay weddings, that you may lose other clients? Because up here we can't.
It's nothing I've ever worried about.
No,
it was an issue. I'm something I don't look. You know, I want to work with people who want to work with me, and I am not judgmental. Somebody else can be. That's all up to them. But yeah, if that client doesn't want to work with me because I did an event for somebody else, and they don't agree with that morally, then I don't want that client anyway.
When is it going to come up?
Okay.
I've never had someone say to me, by the way, before we hire you, we need to know, have you ever done a gay, a black, a white?
Somebody told me a while back, I think they were in Iowa, and they told me,
oh, say no more,
that they had somebody call them and say, look, I saw a video you did on YouTube, and you did a gay wedding, and we're against that, so we cannot have you as our DJ anymore.
Yeah.
Why did they meet with him then?
I was afraid of that at first myself, but
why did they meet with him?
Behind me. I ain't worried about it.
You can try to be everything to everybody, but you'd be really boring if you were that guy. You know, I don't want to work with people who don't want to work with me. I want to work with people who want to work with me.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't need somebody who's going to be that judgmental. Where does it end? You know? Well,
yeah, I'm going to be honest
with you because you
find it hard to believe
you're in a mixed race relationship. I mean, where does this end? It's
right. I find it hard to believe you're going to get a client who's anti-gay wedding, who would go out of their way to meet with a DJ to tell the DJ, we saw this video. We can't. No. I'm saying this.
No. They were already booked. They had booked the DJ.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I missed that part. That's big.
And I don't know if it was 6 months out or what it was. It said, look, we're sorry, but we can't work with you anymore because. Okay. Yeah.
Well, then you know what? Hey. You
either kept the deposit, you know, but yeah.
You know what? Live on your knees or die on your feet. Stand up for what you believe in or cave. Say, oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I need your money.
Because we're whores. Yes.
Yeah. And if I do it again after you hire me and I do your wedding, well, that's then. You know what? I think, again, I would respect a man that said, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but that's who I am. I'm an equal opportunity DJ, and I understand that you don't want to use my services now, so I will take the retainer per my contract, and I will go away. And you can find
say. And that's exactly what he did, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that...
I wouldn't make World War III out of it.
No.
Well, look at this baker in, like, where is it, San Francisco or something? Or not San Francisco. I don't know where the baker is. But
Indiana.
Indiana. They just lost $1 million lawsuit because they won't make cakes for gay weddings. I get it. Hey, it's not my belief system that projects me to work and feed my family. It's my ability to work and feed my family. Yes, I won't do a white supremacy wedding because there's a point where even I have to say enough. I will do a hot naked supermodel wedding. So if you have one,
pass it my way. Yeah.
just saying. But you know what I mean? Like, I get that. But yeah, we're going to run into that because guess what? Hey, how many DJs do we know on Facebook who can't shut their mouths about how left-wing or right-wing they are? I got 2,100 friends. You got 12,000. Go on my page. Go all the way back to 0. You'll never find out who I voted for. It's none of your business. I'm not, because what I say on Facebook or elsewhere affects what I do for a living. Now, if you want to be that guy, be that guy. That's not me. I can separate what I do at home and what I think with what I do at work.
Yeah.
Whether I like gay or not gay. I can do gay weddings left and right. Love them. But it has nothing to do with my feelings. It's an event that I'm good at. You know, I can do an event where it's African American on both sides. Do a great job. I can do a Mexican wedding. I'm Irish. Like, it doesn't matter to me. And I think people need to get
why we
back
call
to
him
that.
Pastor J, by the way, just so you know.
Brought to you by Grey Goose.
Pastor J, brought to you by Grey Goose.
Well, Grey Goose from Costco, because we're cheap.
This is kind of like, what is it, the Today Show where those two chicks sit around and drink wine and get drunk all morning while they talk about the news?
Oh, Hoda and Kathy Lee? Why do I know that?
I'm sitting here drinking water.
I'm just waiting until they call it Brian and Jay.
I'm still working on my bottle of coffee here.
I'm like, what are you drinking? The whole time I think you're drinking Pediasure or something. Oh, look at you.
Oh.
Wow. They ran out of Coke.
Jay, I told you I stopped drinking Coke.
When?
2 years ago?
Get the... Seriously?
I have it with the meal. If I go somewhere to,
Like
get a
yesterday?
burger, I'll have a Coke.
Or this afternoon?
When did I have a Coke last? New Year's. I had Pepsi.
Okay, that was 2 days ago.
Well, no, but before that, it was probably a month.
So you're not walking around 24/7 with that huge-ass tumbler of Coke?
Of coffee, dude.
Good for you.
Coffee.
How's that working for you?
Pretty good. It's expensive, but
I was going to say Coke would be about $1.50 for that.
I did buy a dozen Mexicokes when I went to the store the other day. But that's
the cane sugar ones?
Yeah, that's just a treat. And I like to have
Okay.
those when guests come too. I haven't tapped into them at all, but yeah, no, I that was the first time I've bought soda in probably 6 months. And I usually just buy it when people are coming over.
That's awesome.
I knocked it off. That's not to say I won't drink it. That's just
What's
to
the
say that I
smoking
don't
next?
drink it daily.
Smokes.
What about them?
Gotta say goodbye to those.
No, I don't. Stop preaching to me. Fuck you. I'm gonna smoke all these cigarettes
Wow.
You can vape.
because you said that.
Yeah, exactly. This is the kettle calling the pot gray.
I lost an arm and a leg. I get to keep something.
Oh, God, you're waving that flag again, aren't you?
Hell yeah, I'm waving that flag.
Stroke flag.
Yeah, well, somebody wasn't complaining when he stole my parking pass and was parking in all the disabled spots a couple of years ago. You
Yeah,
thought it
no
was
shit.
awesome.
Dude, I had that disabled plate for 6 months with my leg. Dude, it was awesome. Rockstar everywhere.
Rockstar parking is awesome.
It's way awesome.
Oh,
I
damn,
want to tell this story real quick.
Yeah.
So, Brian and I, on a good week, until recently when I wasn't gigging as much, so I didn't have the opportunity to be in the car to call, but we would talk 3-4 days a week. And I talked to Brian, like, on a Saturday. Hey, what's up? Oh, I'm going to this thing and Midwest video and yada, yada, yada. So I didn't talk to you Sunday. I don't think I talked to you Monday. Tuesday, I call Brian. Hey. Oh, hey, Brian, what's up? Hey. Oh, I'm sorry, you asleep? No, man, I think I had a stroke. What? I'm in the hospital. And I'm like, is he just fucking with me? And I'm like, yeah.
you started riffing. You started just talking. I'm like,
Right, exactly. That's the thing. For like 10
yeah, I
minutes,
did this wedding and I got this thing. I'm like, okay.
you're like, I can just hear like stuff on the phone. You're like, I'm doing on the phone. I'm like, what? Look how far you've come. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Kind of amazing.
Well,
You're gigging alone with a stroke, and the rest of us are bitching about, oh my God, I don't want to carry this again. It's like, do people know you really only carry with one arm?
the only downside to all of this is that I'm really hard on everybody who complains about anything.
You should be.
But I don't want to be. I don't want to be an asshole. If somebody
No,
doesn't
you're
feel
that
good,
same judgmental guy that doesn't play Foster the People guy. I know that.
I don't want to be that guy. But if somebody tells me, oh, I'm like, you got 2 arms and 2 legs. Shut up.
Wow.
Shut up. I don't want to hear it.
There you go.
How long ago was that you had a stroke?
Pardon?
How long ago was that?
God,
It'll be
yeah.
7 years in April.
Holy shit, it's been that long?
Yeah, 7 years in April.
Yeah, it was right coming home from the Midwest DJ.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that gig again. Next one will kill you.
Yeah, really. No, and Big Ron, why don't you like coming to my event? I'm like,
Really? You got to ask?
Ron, do you realize I had a stroke coming home?
Broke down on the last one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, yeah.
No, I think it's one of those things where you have to kind of look at it from the perspective of, we're not getting younger. So nobody wants to carry the heavy stuff anyway. But it would be nice to maybe have guys stop and appreciate the fact that they do have 2 arms to carry it.
It would be nice. But I do understand there are a lot of people out there who may have wanted to get out of this.
Sure.
Because, oh, you know what? It's an age thing, my back, my this, my that. And then with the whole concept of microsystems, people are staying in the game longer because it's possible for them to go out and do it with diabetes or with a bad back or you know what? I don't want to drive a truck anymore. I've got a Toyota Corolla. You can put this stuff in a Toyota Corolla. It's made it possible. So, I feel like I've helped that way.
I loaded stuff in a Kia Rio. I put those Z's 15s in the back of a Kia Rio and hauled them before. And lighting and everything. I'm talking about putting Chavez 4 bars in the back and everything else. A DJ friend of mine, he goes, "Where's your stuff at? Where's your trailer?" He went out to my car. He's like, "You're kidding me. How did you get all that?" It's an art to doing it.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
A friend of mine in Chicago, Joseph Allen, he does stuff like Chicago Bulls and all that. He drives a Toyota Corolla or a Toyota Celica. That's what it is. And he calls it a clown car. He's like, you wouldn't believe the equipment I get in this little car because seats fold down and all this stuff. He's like, it's my clown car. It's like the clowns keep getting out of the car. It's like, where are all these clowns coming from?
And he's looking, "Don't you have a huge controller?" I said, "No, I have two little Hercules, which, hey, they're nice little controllers. I got 2 of them. I've got the little MX and the other one that came out. What is that? RM2, I think it is.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
The Hercules ones?
They're good. They're good little controllers. They don't take up much room. They don't take a whole table.
No, they're small.
Yeah.
I'm using the DJM 450 now, and it's wonderful. Except for, I made some accommodations for extra microphones. It's a little
DBX
works. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to get those Evolve 50s because I was getting to the point where it's hard for me even to carry those Z15s around anymore. But now that I got those Evolves, I can set them up and go with them.
That's got to be the easiest complete speaker system I've ever had. I got them set up right now. They just came in. It's probably Blanca. What do you know?
You got them Friday. Didn't you get them Friday? I thought I saw something posted. I think I saw something posted on Facebook.
Yeah, they came in just the other day.
Howie? Is Howie's not coming through?
I think he's still around.
Yeah, but he's talking, but...
Yeah, Howie, turn your mic back on.
His mic's on.
Your Ed McMahon has dropped
Yeah,
off
what
the
the
mic
hell's
there.
going on with that? That's okay. It's about time to wrap up. We got stuff to do and people to see and
It's going to be a long YouTube video when they get done with it, too.
Well, I thought it would be fun just to give John 3 hours to screw around with. Do something with this, John.
Yeah, we did.
That's why I was looking at the clock. I'm like, let's at least hit the 3 hour mark.
Part 1, part 2, part 3.
Yeah, he's going to... I mean,
Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the DJ Hangout concept, please let John know he's really excited about it. So that's why
We can do this all day, every day. No, I mean, because I think enough of us have the passion for this and the love for it. And I'm not saying this for any other reason than the God's honest truth. Just this few hours tonight, listening to people talk about what they do and seeing comments, it's always invigorating. It's always like, oh, wow, I didn't think of that. Oh, that's great. Oh, wow. Why would you not? The first mobile beat I went to in 1999, I remember walking in there being like, wait, these people DJ like I do? They're into what I'm into? And you just talk, hey, what lights do you have? Hey, did you try out this? Try out that? Oh, did you see that speaker? Like, you get to geek out. We see it at every, place we play. You get plumbers doing it, lawyers doing it, whoever. But when we do it, it's a little different because we're the ones that are supposed to be hired at those events. Nobody's ever had a DJ convention and said, hey, everybody, the plumbers. Everyone's been to a plumber convention and been like, hey, when the entertainment, So
it's just really good to get the feedback from everybody.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great group. It's an amazing group of people.
Some DJs won't even talk. I know you deal with some local DJs. They won't even sometimes conversate with you. They act like they're better, like they're better than you.
Well, I've talked about this.
I don't do that.
No, I've talked about it before. It's like, the whole concept of I'm not going to share information with you because that would be a threat to my livelihood. I think is ridiculous.
I want to pass it on.
Yeah, not only that, but I've told people this before. I'll give you all my music. I'll give you all my equipment. Come with me to every gig I do for 2 years. Take notes, videotape what I do. You still can't be me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I want to do a class in it and get some of these young people involved in it and say, hey, I'll teach you how to read a crowd. You got to learn it on your own and get your own concept.
Yeah.
But hey, why not do it? It's got to be something you got to feel. You got to feel that.
It's like anything else. Either you have the aptitude or you don't. A lot of people have the interest, but that doesn't particularly mean they have the aptitude. But you got to try to find out. You got to give it a try.
You know what's bad? Since I've started doing these photo booths, I won't say nothing. I won't even make my advertising that I'm DJing, that I'm a DJ, just the photo booth stuff. And I'll wait until the end of the event, and then I'll go up to them. Hey, man, let me shake your hand, man. You did a great job. You read the room well. As soon as I say read the room well, I might as well pull out the DJ card.
Yeah, they know.
I blew it, But I end up having a great conversation with them, and, hey, here's my card. We exchange cards, and there's somebody else I can add on. And I'll wait and do that at the very end. Because if you do something very beginning, they're going to put on a dog and pony show.
Yeah, you're right.
They will.
They absolutely will.
They will over-try.
And they don't need the pressure.
No, I don't want them to give them that. I'll wait till the very end and walk up to them. And if they've let the room get away from them, then I just kind of, quietly pack up and
walk out.
I mean, that's the way to be on it.
That's the downside. It's like I've played a few mobile beats and expos, and you're playing in front of DJs. I mean, they're never going to be happy.
No.
They're never going to look at what you do and say, that was cool, that was good. Because it's always going to be the same thing. I could do better. I could do better. It's like being in a band. You know, it's like we're all in different bands trying to compete for one thing, but it doesn't work that way. There is no trophy. There is no brass ring. You know, you getting hired every weekend for 3 weddings is your brass ring.
Yeah.
Me getting hired in my market is my brass ring. It's not the same trophy thing.
Yep. Yeah, but let something go wrong, and they're like, wait a minute. You know, they always, even when I worked in the clubs, the bartender could make a bad drink, and the DJ would get blamed for the bartender making a bad drink.
Absolutely.
Brian, you can relate on that too, brother. I know you can. You got, you know, and our job was to get the dance floor packed, get them hot, get them going, play something crappy, get them off the dance floor. We called it recycling back in the day.
Let's rotate that floor.
Yeah, I got bonuses back in the day, back in the 80s. I mean, we do a $10,000 liquor sale, and we were doing 75-cent drinks for ladies.
Right.
You got to understand, the drinking age in Florida then was 19. This was in 84, 85. I was working at the radio station and doing the clubs. Oh, I was killing myself. I was
in Boston then at 21, 22. I wish I was in Florida.
We were doing, they were lined up around, and these were honky tonks, as they called them. These were Southern. I was knowing how to do the difference between a two-step and a polka. Those songs I had to know. Line dances back then, they would do a line dance to anything. That was before Electric Boogie came out.
I want to congratulate everybody here for participating in the record-breaking 3-hour marathon that we just did.
Yeah.
I don't think that we've ever done anything on Just Checking.
Now he's gone, I think.
No,
I'm here.
He's here.
Can you hear?
Oh, there he is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
He's back.
I had a problem with my mic earlier. I just wanted you to know you guys are obviously getting better as you get older, because right now we have 93 combined viewers.
Oh boy.
Right now at this moment.
That's awesome.
and we're gonna just turn it all off.
I was gonna say it's time to leave on the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on the top.
Thank you everyone for coming in tonight. I again hope you enjoyed it, and we'll probably be back again soon.
Yeah, I hope Scott comes back.
Yeah, I like Scott.
Yeah.
I don't know
everything. Good to see you, Jay. Thanks.
You too, Howie. Thank you. Appreciate all the help.
I just tried to help.
Thank you, Jay.
Nobody knows
Thanks, guys.
everything.
Appreciate it. Robin, have a great night.
We're gonna make it explode.
Ready?
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm hitting the X. Ah! Okay, end meeting for all right now. Bye.